would anyone like to give us a recap of what happened last session?
I would like to grab some water if I may, DM.
You had
time.
okay. Not only did you have like a good 5 hours
So
before the session started.
I'm not allowed to have any water.
No, you have to wait until the end of the end of the subject, please. You have to wait
What if
until
I
the
do
end of
the
the class.
introduction? Am I allowed to do it then?
Just go get the water. I don't care. All right. I guess we wait for another 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll just.
Oh,
If the chance arises, I'll get some water too.
that fairy fire's gotta be useful in the underdark, right?
What is?
Fairy fire.
Hmm.
At the very least, it lights up the place. Worst, it makes enemies have advantage on us.
How would that work?
Because I just like fuck up the where
Have it
I
turned.
make it. Oh, that was weirdly quick. No complaining.
Yeah, we Dutch people, we just open a window and just let the water flow in when we're thirsty.
No, Yenny has like a little irrigation system from the sea.
No, it's just, you just open a window. It's all underwater here, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
open the plug in the wall.
All right. Let's get started. Okay. So, yeah, I'll have one of you do a recap if you're cool with doing that.
Okay.
Would anyone like to volunteer?
Me.
I did last time, so like, yeah, let him.
All right, Gibbo. Why don't you do the recap for us, if you would be so kind?
Okay. So we met our employer. We had our little start bits, and with that, we went on a quest. We had a lot of speaking. We had a lot of character-defining moments, us three, and we kind of got the general gist. Then we went into this forest, and we get attacked by these goblins. These are goblins from the place where we've been hired to destroy with mal intent. And they try and kill us, so we do things. We ball. And after a while again, we get to the goblin encampment. Now this is where Straladar shines as the diplomatic person. We love the diplomatic. The diplomatic person just want to give a kiss on his old cheek. And unfortunately, diplomacy failed. Violence erupted. We went into the cave. We balled again. However, we were lucky in our choices, and it seems that there may still be some goblins on the loose. We faced this strange one, this more powerful variety, who seemed to have a connection to the dark arts. He, more powerful than the other ones. But more importantly, this goblin, I don't know about you, but I believe he was a frequent user of 4chan.
I'm gonna need your source on that one, buddy.
Okay, he practices shadow magic. He's green and he smells like
He
bathroom.
lived alone in a basement. Period.
That one too. That's
All right, fair point. Yeah, he was an avid 4chan user.
Okay, yeah. And now we escaped through this. We escaped through this vent.
It was a crevice. You don't have to say vent.
Okay, so we vented and we went into this other part of the cabin with these cool mushrooms. We found, now I don't know if this is when after I left, but we have found these rather exquisite, gentlemanly weaponry, which I have a feeling we're going to be taking to great use.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, Baku was a brilliant DM, and I'm excited to see the continuation of it. I think everyone shined, and I'm excited for today's session.
All right, and you all are in the middle of a long rest. You are completely just all asleep, pretty much.
Well, yeah. I mean, Sequoia takes her long rest in a different scrunkly fashion. I'd like to flavor it, but yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, she's not paying attention to anything.
Right. Yeah. Why don't we say you whatever you want to do,
She's
you can do that.
crafting,
Yeah,
basically.
you can do that before you sleep, if you're cool with
Yeah.
that. What are you doing in that case?
Well, so you know how in our world, there's all these like claims of like how are we created, like you're made from like, oh, men were made from mud and women were made from ribs and born on the whims of gods. But this is Osmore, right? Where myths are feeble and gods are plenty and no central story of creation is agreed upon. Right? Is that's I don't know too much about the creation myths here, but I'm just checking with you, Baku.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhat varied. People believe in different things, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And there's all these different ways that like things are created. And while Sequoia may not be a god, she does like creation. See, the parallel here that I'm trying to make is that like gods and their creations, it is not entirely clear how Sequoia makes the things that she does. She picks and she ticks and she tinkers and she smiths, and with scalpel she cuts, and with cobbling hammer she hits. She uses scraps of leather and mud and buttons which she weaves, and heavy iron and stones and metals which she bends and heaves, and it is this then, through a rigorous night of smithing, that come next morning, a large tapestry would stand proud and tall next to Sequoia, like a tree. And not just to Sequoia. When I say tall, I do not mean to your knee. No, this tapestry stands at an impressive 5'3". That is her creation for the long rest.
All right. Yeah, you spend a bit of time before you go to bed. You make this masterful sort of creation. Does anyone else do anything before they go to sleep?
Two things. One, before he goes to sleep, Aaron just like he looks at his. I would like to say the fleshy mycelium-ridden rocks, and before he knows he's going to sleep, I want to ask Sequoia, you in the bag?
No. She's currently out of the bag. She took all of the stuff that she put into your bag, and God, by what she took out of it, all the little things, all the heavy stuff that you were carrying around with you earlier, she's taken all of it out and it's just splayed in there. And she's like, she's using it. She's not in the bag.
That is good job you said that. That was the right answer, because so he puts back on his like robes from his thing, and he just starts going to sleep, but to anyone watching him sleep, it's that there is the audible sound of his heart beating, and he seems to talk in his sleep. It's an unfortunate trait.
Yeah, and you drift off into dreamland.
That's so nice.
It is so nice. Streladar, do you do anything before you go to bed?
Yes, actually. Stradar would, before he gets to sleep, he would start heavily practicing his magic and doing a lot of philosophical studying at the same time. He's like multitasking. He's at the same time writing down like random philosophical quotes that comes to his head. At the same time, he's also just like making flowers grow from like the cracks on the floor before he heads off to bed, probably exhausted from just how much he's done. He hasn't done this much in a very long time.
Right. All right. Well, in that case, you all go to bed. You start sleeping, and Streladar, you open your eyes. You look around, and you can see you are in what looks to be a room made of sort of cobblestone. It's sort of maybe like a room of a castle, or like a just a sort of like a stone building, something like that. The floor has this woolen carpet or rug. And you see a man hunched over a desk, whispering to what seems to be a pitch black orb. Do you do anything?
Ooh. I'm gonna look over to Straladar and say,
Oh, no, this is just Straladar who sees this.
"Oh, I'm so sorry. I've completely."
Yeah.
Straldar would,
Patrick Bateman doesn't sleep.
Straldar would slowly get up from his rest, all of his bones clicking as he gets up. He's he's an old man. His bones
Hmm.
aren't so good. So he'd grab his staff to balance himself as he would look over, and before approaching, he would try and figure out what they're saying, like if he could hear what he's
Hmm.
whispering.
Yeah, totally. You look. So first off, you look around. You sort of get up. The area you're in, there aren't any windows or doors in it. It seems like there's no way to exit or enter. As well as the light doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere. It just sort of seems to be ambient. And as you get a bit closer, you start to listen, and it seems to be verbal components for a spell in Druidic. And you don't know what the spell is, but you can tell, like, verbal components, the more powerful the spell, the more complex the words. These are some very complex, lengthy sort of phrases and words this person is using as they whisper into this orb. Do you do anything now that you know this?
Yeah. He would say, "Excuse me, fine sir. I'm quite curious about my predicament right now. Perhaps you could explain."
As you say this, you see this man sort of turn over to face you, a young elf with sort of short, straight brown hair and gray eyes. The eyes themselves are, they don't show any cruelty or any kindness. They just show indifference. Uh, this man is wearing a sort of leather armor that's been plated with wood and holds or rather, has sheathed a staff made of willow wood. That seems to be sort of gnarled and sort of used many times. He looks over to you and he says, "Brother of the woods, you. Hmm, why. Why did you sully yourself by living with those civilized folk? You could have so much more by destroying them." You see, he reaches out, puts a hand on your head, and a choir of voices from beasts, plants, fowl, and insects start chittering and talking all at once. At first, it's completely indecipherable, but soon it merges into one voice, a word, no, a name, Ilador. And your vision goes completely black. Sequoia,
Yep.
you you sort of fade into this area. It looks to be a classroom. It sort of resembles a one from like an Arcana institution from Summerspire. You look in front of you. You're sitting down at this desk. Um,
Oh no, how big is the desk? Because
oh,
if I'm sitting down, are there book stacks on top of it? Like, how am
yeah. So you're sitting down on a chair with books, like
I?
look to be old textbooks stacked up on it, so you can reach the desk. And the desk
Uh-huh.
it's equivalent to like a countertop from like a kitchen,
Yeah.
in terms of size for you.
So yeah, so it's like it's big for me. It's very big.
Incredibly big. You would look in front of you. You see, just this mess of like parts and items, completely just useless. And as you look around, you see everyone else creating like beautiful works of art, physics-defying machines, and the such. You look down at your hands, and you seem to be holding tools that you don't recognize. You don't know what they do. Um,
This is a wonderful dream. This is great. I don't know what it does. I don't know if I can make anything with these things. This is great. She'll follow her dream instinct. She will. This is great. She will try to see what they do. And she collect them, beg them, ring them. This is
climb,
great.
yeah, you just go to town trying to figure out what these tools do. You can't seem to make them work for you in the same way
Hmm.
you're able to make so many other sort of um
Huh. Maybe
alchemists
they're
and
instruments.
artificers' tools. You're making so much noise. You notice the teacher, this old like human lady, um,
Oh no, it's a giant.
looks up from the front of the class and says, "Are you having some trouble over there?"
I is she kind of looks around and she's like, I think I was given musical instruments.
You see this lady walk over to you and snatch the tools from your hand and says, "If you're not able to operate with these instruments, then you are unfit to be at our school." And
But, but
she throws the tools on the floor, and sort of as you like look up at her face, you see it starts to morph and change. And she was already an old lady, but now it seems more wizened and
oh no,
and
you,
sort of
you.
disgusting. As you see the face of a hag look at you and start cackling maniacally. Um, and as this happens, everything just sort of fades into nothingness. Uh,
Oh.
Aaron, you look around and all you see is blackness for miles. You can't discern anything, and at first it just feels like you're floating, but then you realize your hair is not acting as it normally would. It's moving like you feel wind pick up your hair, and you look down and you seem to be falling. You are falling towards a skull that is looking straight up, and it has two gemstones for eyes. Its maw has been unhinged, and you seem to be falling towards the mouth of it. And as you plummet, falling deeper and deeper, you fall into the mouth, and you feel your soul split into a million pieces. It feels unrecoverable. You feel darkness take hold of you, and you wake up completely drenched in sweat. It looks like everyone else is still sleeping, and you're the first to awake. The fire is like the campfire is still going, but seems to be a little bit sort of dwindling. What do you do?
He sits there for a while before just getting up.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a breather and he thinks about that dream. Thinks about the life he once had. Remembers the gardens, the enjoyable time. He remembers the odd expectations he always had with a life that once befell him. It was a nice one. In fact, it was a arguably better one, but I'll never forget that day. His dreams seemed to be targeted, they hurt him personally. His soul. It runs thinner than blood, yet thicker than whatever he could imagine. And he stands there. He ends up kind of going into a bit of a trance, or at least like a... Doesn't stop staring at the ground. Doesn't really know what to think.
Mm-hmm. You're complete like you are phased out, or sort
Yeah,
of
phased out, properly phased out.
completely jarred by this dream, and you hear shuffling over from where Straladar is sleeping.
His head would turn like fastly as he looks. What do I see?
You look over to where Straladar is, and you see him turn to face you. And as he does, his skin has almost completely rotted off of his face, leaving tattered pieces of flesh and hair, as two white lights stare at you through the eye sockets. And you see his mouth, or rather his jaw opens, and he says, "Little boy, little puppet, you cannot outrun fate. You are no human. You are livestock, and I will have you soon enough." And as he says that, the light from the fire extinguishes, and you feel two bony hands grab onto your shoulders and pull you back as whatever you were thinking of, whatever was happening, completely fades. And you all wake up after this. This sort of night of strange dreams. What does everyone do as they wake up?
Scream.
Strada,
Uh, Go ahead.
Strada will get up. Once again, all his bones clicking and cracking as he gets up. As he'll stare around and he'll I imagine he'll probably have a headache since from that whole voices thing. As would everyone else also be getting up?
Everyone would be sort of waking up. I'll say it's up to you guys whether you're still asleep or waking up or already woken up.
Um, I'll say that he wakes up, but he wakes up from where he is, and there's a scutter as he actually looks at you, Strellador. His eyes are that of an animal that looks back at the owner that beat it. As he looks at you and says, "Your bones click like rust, Aerith. You stay away from me." He puts his hands out. His fingers
Strelladar
fracting.
Strelladar will recall back a little bit. Well, let's not make rash decisions here. Can you explain why you would have such a reaction to my sight?
Rash decisions.
Yes, Sequoia would be waking up, right? And she would just should wide awake, and there would just be like this poof of dust from where she is, right? Just this poof of like glittery pixie dust. And as she gets up, she just looks around and she's like, "Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No, don't tell me that. Don't tell me she took it." And she like runs over to like the large tapestry that she put up, and she goes and she peeks underneath it. Baku, is it still there?
You peek under, you check if it's still there, and you see that it's still there. Yeah, it's completely fine.
Oh my god. Whew. And she just kind of slumps down next to it and she yawns and she's like, "Good morning."
I want to express that there's a look of tears welling in his eyes as he looks up to see sky is the same. It doesn't grey. It doesn't fade away like
Are we
what
underground?
happens if you look at the sky in an actual dream.
You are in underground right now.
Pardon?
You're-
Yeah, but it's like, alright, little thing. If you ever start lucid dreaming and you look up whilst you're dreaming, it starts going all grey.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain can't vision what the sky looks like when you're dreaming.
Right.
Yeah. So he looked at that and he sees Stralladar and he goes, I'm sorry. I just threatened your life.
Don't worry about it. You wouldn't be the first, trust me.
Oh god. The
You...
night is not my friend.
Sequoia's kind of like dredging herself over to you guys and she's like, you guys also get a magical hangover?
Hangover. Yeah, I'll call that hangover.
I think I splurged on my creation limit yesterday. I don't feel good after that. You look like hell.
Cheers.
It's like, no, but more than usual.
Yeah, rough sleep. Where are you,
Yeah.
Stralladar?
My night was interesting to say the least, but I'll be fine.
I don't know, maybe this cave, we're all having bad dreams. Maybe this place is causing night terrors.
Perhaps the spores of
Maybe.
the shrooms around here might be getting to us. I know that sleeping around certain plants can lend to interesting delusions and hallucinations.
Didn't know that. Okay, noting that one down. Alexine says that it might be best to not stay around these spore-spreading fungi.
Sequoia nods. And she's like, so you're saying that we have to get going?
Yeah. Alright,
Huh.
Sequoia?
Well, she points towards the bag and she's like, you won't have to carry that anymore.
And why is that?
Well, and she goes over to it and she picks it up and she starts dragging it very slowly, kind of fluttering a few centimeters off the ground as she's talking. I figured out more efficient way to transport because you were complaining it was too heavy, and she's like dragging it over towards the tapestry that she put up, and as she's like dragging it over, she's like, I I managed to do something with the artillery.
Uh-huh.
And she just says, remember those falls I got?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I thought those were trillium, but it turns out it wasn't. Those were just blue or yellow. I always mix those two colors up. And she's kind of like reached the little tapestry by now. And I want to stress that this thing is massive. Like, I'm talking a colossal 5 foot. Like, this next to Sequoia, this is like half a dozen pixies tall almost. Which means that you're still taller than it by like, a head or two. But it's she built something.
So, she built herself a mech suit.
Well, she kind of takes off the tapestry. She goes, look! And she flutters a few centimeters up, pixie dust is just shooting everywhere. I used the principles of Akaito, Zayuturi, and settling the alchemic bond into the ferroliner, but it turns out I was missing the key. Natural herbs as a metamagical accelerator. And she shoots a smile at Streladar, and she's like, thank you so much for that. And the thing that she's unveiling...
Eladar would look confused, but then say, you're welcome for whatever I did.
The thing that she's currently unveiling is this. It's cobbled together from a combination of high quality processed materials and random junk. There is metallic plates near the boots, but its head seems made of some sort of material in the similar fashion that you'd expect a football to be made. Like, its face has a little mouth made of string and buttons for eyes with a mild fluorescent yellow, or is that blue, coming from behind that mask. And it's wearing this handmade knitted dress and fabric, as Sequoia's Steel Defender has indeed joined the party. This is just a little reference art. It looks a lot more scuffed than the reference art right here, because it's currently just cobbled together from random junk. And the main thing that you can see running through the course is that it seems to be built on a wire of arthrillium, the stuff that we just found yesterday. And she's just kind of jammed it in there. Like, one of the arms is half made of straw, and another one of them is half made of mud. There's plants coming out of it, but it's standing there, and it looks at you lifelessly. It looks like she made a scarecrow, for all intents and purposes.
Luke sneezes. I would have thought that would have been made of covalent bonds.
Oh, no. We went over this. Covalent bonds are something else. And she kind of flutters up, and she's like, covalent bonds is what you put... Yeah. And she pulls the bag up a little bit and hooks it onto the side of the belt. Covalent bonds, that's what you put when you're making chairs. That's how you keep chairs together.
Well, this is mighty fine. Are you going... So, how does this thing work?
Well, it kind of... Well, see, it just does. And as she says that, its head, turns towards you.
Oh my god.
It snaps. Stares at you. Its button eyes looking into your soul.
Streladar's going to say, the youth and their bloody technology. Always with their weird robot things.
He's made life.
There's like a
Oh,
distant thunder strike,
I
you
can
know.
grow life.
False life.
No, look, it's all natural. And she like pats it on the back, and then like the construct like nods like as a blow bubble hat, you know. It's like, oh, thanks to your natural herbs. And she like looks
Well,
at it and
if
she's
it's made of
like,
natural herbs, then it's probably really good. That's what I've learned. Barring when it's not, then it's poison.
Yeah,
But we don't get into
technically,
that.
she
looks
kind
and
of
says,
asks this creature. It can't speak, by the way, Baku. She kind of asks it, "Are you made of poison? Did he make you out of poison?"
well,
Yeah, it
he
doesn't
didn't make it out
react.
Damn
I'm
it.
hoping he didn't make it out of, like, ricin or something.
She kind of looks over and she's like, "What's there? No, I didn't make it out of rice."
So actually, there's, okay. Cyanide, that's a more iconic one.
No, we've been over this. Cyanide, that's the stuff that you put in beds. Oh, you never remember
What?
anything, right? Do you, Aaron?
He like, has said, okay, I know nothing. The world is big. I am small.
And she kind of looks over and she's like, "You're not that small." Hmm. But she's almost eye to eye with you now, standing on this creature. And then it moves and it steps over. Dunk, 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 tot, chick, chick, poop, and it's right next to you. It's surprisingly quick. As Sequoia is just sheeted on this thing's shoulder. How big are you exactly, Aaron?
Let me look at the height.
I need to know the down to the exact inch.
Okay. He is about, what is it? He is at the funky height of 6'1".
6 foot and 1 inch. So
1 inch
Sequoia.
taller than myself.
So Sequoia is currently standing on top of its shoulder, and this thing is 5'3", and Sequoia
Okay.
is a 1'1". So she will look at you, and then she'll like climb on top of its head instead. And she's currently like she's currently sitting down on it, and she's looking exactly at eye level with you. And she's just like, much better. So, and she kind of looks over at Straladar. You approve of the arcane intelligence that I made? And she like taps it again, and it's like like a part falls
AI.
off.
It's impressive.
There's like a little flower that like
Don't
blooms when
really
you say that.
understand it, but if I get mad at something I don't understand, that turns into ignorance and arrogance.
Well, it's
So-
well, I mean, the fun thing about this is it's kind of got a mind to its own. So if you want to get to know it better, you can ask it stuff. I think. She kind of looks
Like
at it,
looks
and
at
it
you.
has no mouth. It can't respond.
Looks back at it, he says,
Would that not be akin to talking to a wall?
No, I mean, and she kind of looks over at it, and she's like, "It can wiggle in response. Walls can't wiggle in response."
is there any way
But
to give
what
it
does
the ability?
wiggling mean exactly? That isn't
I
exactly
mean, it means
communication.
wiggling can mean a lot of words in your language, but what I mean is to, give a response in an orderly manner in a way that goes back and forth between 2 points of origin, usually between 2 parties in
Can
a
it do
location
that?
between a. Oh, and she was like, I wasn't finished yet, but
Oh, I have a good
Strong's
system.
gonna look at it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. You go.
Okay. He's gonna look at it and walk up to the wood machine thing, and he's gonna say, "Okay, if you supposedly have a mind of your own, what is your favorite philosophical fact?"
it can understand this question, and it has 4 intelligence. However,
Looks at-
Baku is the DM, so I cannot.
Looks at,
I don't know what it does.
He looks at you and he says, okay, I have a better system than that. My friend, my stitched together friend, wiggle once for yes, and wiggle twice for no.
It wiggles 3 times. And I'm like,
Okay.
I think it understands both of those, right?
Okay,
And once again,
okay.
wiggles 3 times.
Okay.
He's going nowhere.
He then goes, you enjoy living.
It does not wiggle. It's like, that's kind of a loaded question, don't you think? It's. I mean,
Streladar's gonna look.
I think it's still making up its mind. I kind of just, you know, it's kind of it grew yesterday. It's a day old. It's made yesterday, guys.
Oh, I know.
It's technically not even alive.
You
Besides,
prefer...
shouldn't we let it like see the sun and stuff first? Then
Yeah.
smell flowers, touch things. Oh, these are mushrooms, by the way. And she kind of like shows it and turns it around and like swoops its head around in like this vigilant manner, in this sort of like crazed, always alert way that it moves its body. It seems like she tailored this after you, Aaron. It's like you
wouldn't
can tell
expect
that
she's
you can
been
tell the
doing
way
that
that
the
like
entire
it moves
time.
its whole body with its shoulders and chest in one straight line, just so that if something were behind it, it could immediately like attack it. It's the same exact way that you feel when you like turn a corner. It's like the
Yeah, 'cause
Navy SEAL when they return from Vietnam. That's how it moves.
he's been doing that this entire time. I want to express that, like he's always looking around.
Yeah, it's kind of got that own idea, and Sequoia's kind of just showing it the mushroom. It's just yeah, and she kind of looks at it and like yeah, prods. She's just showing it the mushroom. But yeah, it's so now you don't have to carry my things anymore. We're still friends, right?
He looks and he says, "Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we be friends?"
I was just checking because something about services, like I don't know.
But
hmm I look, our contract changed, right? So, but I do want to still be your friends.
yeah.
So we
course we
we
can
can still be friends.
He nods, of course, and he goes like a bit closer to you.
She kind of stands on top of the robot's head, and she like looks down at you.
He puts his hand out.
She puts her hand out,
I'm guessing it's
and
like
she puts her other hand out, and she takes both of her hands around one of your fingers.
yeah, like oh yeah, this one. 'Cause he just
Mhm.
says, and he's like, he puts the other finger and he gives a little pat on your head.
She kind of like looks at it, and she's still looking down at you as she do that, and she kind of like squishes, and then she like shakes your finger, and then as you like give her a pat of the head, she kind of like walks on over your arm, kind of gets on top of your finger, walks up your shoulder, and then taps you on the head, and she's just like, I can't remember that being part of a contract making agreement, but okay. And she kind of like
Right,
walks
so-
back after patting you on the head.
He goes back.
Your
and
arm
just
is now
says-
covered in glitter.
He looks at that and he kind of. This goes against my dark aesthetic. He looks back and he says, "Well, Sequoia, just because our contract ended doesn't mean our friendship ended."
Huh. I always disliked that part of Fey culture. She kind of like looks at her machine.
Oh God, that's fake culture! Fucking Christ! Poor thing. Oh,
She's like, yeah. She kind of like sighs, and the machine goes, and it kind of like bows down with her, and then it like stands tall again.
he's
It's like,
gonna give
I
the
there's
creature a
certain
hug.
things I like better here. The creature hugs you back. Sequoia kind of raises an arm, and the creature like returns the hug to you. Its grip is surprisingly tight.
He's thinking, "Yep, you're doing good."
She kind of looks around, and she's like, "So, weren't we supposed to get out of here?"
Yes. I guess we better make haste. We can't just stand here all day chatting about strange stuff that you do, that I do, that he
I mean,
do.
and she kind of thinks,
And
I
you
mean, we
do,
could
you
stand
do, you
around here
do.
all day and think about what it really means to bring an artificial creature to life through natural means, but... And then she stops, and she's like, yeah, why would we do that? You're so right.
We spoke a lot of philosophy yesterday. I feel like there might be some force in the universe that would rather we don't.
And she kind of looks up, and she's like, yeah, whatever gods are out there. I'm sure they're having a great time right now.
Yes.
So, shall we clean? Well, do we want to take anything from the camp first, or do we just start traveling immediately? there might be some useful resources we can use later to set up a camp.
Let me think.
Let's take the, as he looks and he says,
Actually, what's even in the camp?
so it would have been what you would have in your explorer's pack, so like,
Oh, also, I need to add the goggles to my sheets. Where are those again? They're in the...
Session chat, I believe.
also,
Mhm.
the explorer's pack has a weight of 59.
But the bag.
Yeah, that's the bag.
Right.
And he's
Yeah, no,
gonna-
the Steel Defender is currently wearing one of the packs.
what can I? If I look at the camp, what would I find that would be essential for making another camp?
There. I mean, the camp that set up was clearly both done quickly and was dismantled somewhat. So there isn't a lot here. There is still the smoldering fire and the extra sort of bed rolls. You can take them if you want. They aren't in great shape, but they may prove useful if you do not have any.
I'll take the bedrolls.
Okay, yeah, just put in you have I don't know, weathered bed rolls.
Okay, 3 weathered bedrolls. I hate that I know how much a bedroll weighs.
Truly, the
Kilo is
curse
the
of playing this
grizzled,
game for too long.
grizzled
Truly,
realism.
I write down all of the weight on my sheet. I actually care about carrying capacity.
Well,
Oh,
you don't
so do I, because I'm very, very small and I have 10 strength.
you don't need to if you just put in the weight of an explorer's pack. 'Cause that or the packs, those account for the weight of everything
It's more
in
just
the
the
pack.
aesthetic of looking at it and seeing all of the item names. It just
Mm. All right,
soothes my souls.
suit yourself.
Currently, all of the tool belt of holding that I have on me is just like stuffed into the backpack
Mhm.
on the Defender even.
Hmm.
All right.
Also, Strava is gonna say, perhaps since this place is quite dark and ominous, maybe I should scout ahead in a smaller form to, well, make sure that there is no danger.
Oh yeah, druids. You can wild shape. Is it called?
Yes, I can become one with the natural creatures of nature.
Sequoia kind of like pulls down her goggles of magical awareness and she looks at Straladar. Baku, like, is it just a specific type of magic that Straladar that comes from Straladar that when he talks about this?
What do you mean?
When he like, is there a specific type of like magical vibe that like druids just emanate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every like class in D&D terms emanates a different sort of vibe, not restricted to the schools of magic. For example, bards have a sort of aura of creation. Um, Paladins and clerics have sort of divine or holy presences to them. Druids have very natural, earthy sort of presences, which is just sort of a innate sort of result of being one with nature.
I see. Sequoia pulls down the goggles and she goes, "Observation. You are indeed one with nature."
Ah.
Astute, very astute.
She nods.
So, should I scout ahead, or do you think we should be fine?
I'd say.
I do remember the mushrooms seem to resemble ones that would be around Myconids, the mushroom people,
See,
who are
like
generally friendly.
he like looks back at you and you see like stares into your eyes. There's like this just look as you look into his like red, kind of pinkish, crimson eyes. He looks and says, "There is always something on the other side of each corner. Remember that." I would say search.
He
Okay.
constructs bubbles once.
Straladar is going to. He will first nod to what Aaron says, and then he's going to slowly turn into a mouse. But the mouse will have the same beard that Straladar has. It will just have the same scraggy beard around its
Yo,
snout.
he's Merlin.
As he'll We'll turn into this grey mouse, and we'll then start scuttering around, and we'll search ahead.
Yeah, you head deeper into this sort of cave network. You go forward and you are able to see. Let me switch over the map. This. You see this sort of network of massive mushrooms that seem to be hollowed out, where you can assume myconids would live, except in this area, this massive cavern, about 10 minutes away from where you were. This massive cavern is completely quiet, and though the map shows that there are like lights on and things like that, there are no lights on. There's just the ambient sort of light from some of the mushrooms that like glow, but there's no trace of life whatsoever.
And if I look around the do like a quick search of one of the mushroom houses.
Hmm. Yeah, you enter one of the houses. You looking at myconids, do not keep a lot. They tend to just have, a place to sleep, a place to work, and that's pretty much it. But everything in the houses seems undisturbed, like completely, like everything's in place. Nothing was taken, nothing like that. But there's no one in the houses.
Jaldar will be perplexed by this, but can I check? Can I check one more house just to like make sure this is like a pattern?
Sure. I'll say while you're looking through this place, you also see you see two things. You see a pit that leads further down. It looks like it goes down a while. And you also see a tunnel heading up that seems bigger than the one you guys went through. Do you want to
Okay.
investigate those?
No, I think Straldar's got most of what he should like do while alone. He's going to start heading back to the group to relay this.
Okay. Yeah, you head back to the group. You let them know, and what do you guys do?
I don't really know. I'm looking at Straladar the Wise. Straladar of the Great Tree.
Straldar, after like coming up, will like get out of his mouse form, of course, so he can talk. This place seems to have a abandoned Myconid village. Nothing that is too disturbed. It seems everything's normal, which is a strange part.
Did he just say
And-
village?
Yes, village.
What does Myconid architecture look like? And she like
I mean, we
the
can go and
construct like
see in,
fucking gets on
10
its
minutes.
tiptoes.
If we have on the 10-minute walk, but first we should decide about
She starts walking.
the thing that goes down and the thing that goes upwards. There's like stairs that go up, and there's this cavern that goes very far down.
She's like walking up and she's like, "What? Hey, it's this way, right?" She's not going the right way.
No, it's. I don't know. It's. I guess it makes sense. You do have a small brain, as small as you are.
This construct is standing right in front of you, and she is eye to eye with you, Straladar, after you say that. And she just goes, "I was very far away when you said that. Could you repeat yourself, please?"
Strelda will say. Strelda's gonna say, it doesn't matter. It was complimenting your lovely, shoes. Your lovely shoes.
Oh, my shoes. Yeah, I made these myself, actually. My shoes. I thought you said something else. Sorry. She kind of shakes her head and she's like, I mean, if you want, I could give you some shoes. I could make your shoes. I could change your shoes.
No,
I can do lots of
it
things
is
with
fine,
shoes.
that
Actually,
is-
I mean, did I ever tell you about the time that like, oh my god, we didn't even get to know each other? I have not told you about where they make the best shoes in all of Sandro, have I?
Getting a little bit off track here.
Oh right, the track.
You
And
can
she
tell
like
me all you
nods.
like when we're back on the surface or further down, but I
Right,
don't think
right,
this
right,
is the
right.
appropriate moment.
Okay, she like nods and she's like listening intently to you now.
So, should we start heading to the mushroom village to figure out our next direction? It should be safe. There's nothing there.
He looks and he says, "Hmm, it's safe enough to travel. Remember, know where your weapons are.
Sequoia
No.
takes out her bow.
Looks and he does say
Trelladar just
again,
kind of like, holds his staff a little tighter. He doesn't. He does have 2 daggers on his belt, but honestly, they're pretty much useless with his very weak physique.
um, yes, he looks. He says, also, Sequoia,
She kind of looks over at you, and the construct's head, like, does the barn owl thing of, like, looking over at you as well.
if Straladar is trying to, negotiate
She nods.
with whatever we might find in there,
Mhm.
wait until you shoot it.
Right, until I hear the magic word. What was it again? Crane?
Kill it.
Kill it. I can't remember if that one being... Is that code for something? Is that a code? She kind of looks over. It's Strella. Okay. Kill it. Alright. It's a little ambiguous, but I think I can work with it.
I love being a player.
I also love playing a Fae. Kill it has a lot of meanings to it.
I love how we have we are actually like weird opposites, where it's like you have somebody who has no room for interpretation, somebody who's so far into like the meanings of everything, and someone where the meanings kind of kind of are nebulous.
Yeah, they're nebulous.
Just don't.
I love this party. I love this party. I love this party.
It does. What does it? What could it? And it's just like. Ugh.
Sequoia has agreed to your terms. Kill it if told to do so.
I love this. Okay, so we go on our merry way.
Yeah.
Alban was just trying to find Paul Allen's house.
Yeah. So you guys take the 10-minute walk. Like the walk itself is mostly down, so it's pretty easy. But once you get here, you see the same thing that Streladar saw. Just this massive sort of village of huge mushrooms, with the lights all out in these houses, and 2 paths: a tunnel upward and a pit that goes directly down.
Interesting.
See, this is what I was on about. The fork in the road, but this time the fork is not sideways.
There's some forks here, and she kind of like looks at it, and she's like, I don't see forks.
Common logic would dictate vertical as he looks up. That would be the way out of this cavern.
Supposedly. There's nothing solid that says it. It's just a presumption. There's a full chance that it just leads us deeper, but it's an illusion.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to write that down.
All I'm saying is we should be very careful about what we decide. Either one could be not what it first seems. Assumptions is something that can lead someone down a worse path than they first expected.
It's nice. As he looks up and he goes, maybe you're right.
Well,
Oh yeah?
we were trying to get out of here, right?
Yes.
So, I think we go down.
Take your lesson, Strelada.
Well, I've lived a long life. I have many lessons that I've learned that I love to pass on to those around me.
Just hoping it's right. He's going to begin to get going down. I'm also going to just gonna. I want to say it's like he's always been like looking around the entire time. His like kind of grayed eye rings just they like morph and just.
All right, so you guys go over to the pit then.
Yep.
Yeah, you walk over to it. You look down. It is completely dark all the way down. You can't tell how far down it goes. It seems to be at least somewhat deep. What do you want to do?
I ask my skrunkle, and I'm like, do you see anything in there? Wiggle once for yes.
Does it have dark vision?
It's a fucking 5e creature, of course it has dark vision. Baku, Wizards of the Coast loves giving him 60 feet dark vision to everything.
60 feet of dark vision. In that case, it looks down and you see it. What did you say? Wiggle once for yes, twice for no?
Yeah.
It wiggles twice.
Huh, okay. Looks like the coast is clear.
So.
The pit is open.
Streladar is going to grab a rock, and he's going to throw it down the pit and wait till he hears a noise.
All right. You do that. You grab a rock. You toss it down. Roll me a d20 real quick.
I love that. I'm deaf. It just turns out that my death.
19.
Okay. It falls down for a while. I don't understand like math and physics and all that, but you have to wait a while until you hear it hit ground and then tumble into water, what it sounds like.
Oh.
Streladar.
How long would you say in seconds?
I don't know.
Oh wow.
A while. Like, I don't know. How much is
Oh, wow.
10 seconds? How much would that be?
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
No, I don't know if that's 10 seconds or not. I can't do math like that. I don't know. It's like,
Okay, but our characters have a rough idea of how long it takes to get to the bottom.
yeah, about. I would say,
Okay.
actually, why don't you all roll me intelligence checks just to see if you can sleuth out how deep this would be?
Yeah.
Just
surely.
raw intelligence
That's a
checks.
7.
Or perception if you want.
It's a 7.
Perception. Or perception. That's,
What? I said perception.
Oh, sorry.
Did-
14.
Okay. 14.
Sequoia is trying to do the math in her head, and she's just like, okay, so they're
It would be 70
9.81
meters.
9.81 meters per second, and then meters, and then, oh my god, meters are so
say
big. Why are
intelligence?
meters so big?
Did you say perception or intelligence?
Either.
Okay, I'm gonna do perception.
Sequoia's like trying to do the math on it, but it's just like she has to do it in meters, and then it's like, oh god, the meters are so big. That's a long way down.
Okay, so what do we know, Bagu?
Let me take a look. Oh, a 20 perception? Very nice. Yeah, I'd say really only Streladar can pick this up. It seems to be a very long drop. You'd say about 600 feet straight down.
Huh. Sequoia's just looking
Strada.
over like, huh.
Streladar looks at the rest of the group and says, okay, so maybe it's not as much of a choice as I originally expected. So it's either 600 feet down or go up some stairs.
Alright,
Personally, I
600
prefer-
feet down. That's simple. Easy choice. No climbing required.
He looks and he says, Sequoia, we would be falling for that 600 feet.
Sequoia nods. I'm aware.
Huh?
And she's
That
like,
doesn't
well,
bother
are
you.
we
You just
are
do-
we still going down there? Or
No.
I don't think that'd be wise because
Sequoia just goes.
I heard it hit ground before we heard water.
Sequoia
You know,
nods.
means that
and
we
she-
would squash.
Oh
like,
no, you
I-
wouldn't. Just have a
I
little
don't-
trust.
Oh, what are you going to do that weird thing that you did before when I
And she
almost
kind of
fell
looks down
down?
and she's like, "What? No, if you close your eyes, it doesn't hurt."
He's gonna look and
Aladar
he's
shakes
just
his hand. He's,
I
he's
mean,
trying
it
to
would be a
gonna
leap
keep
of
have
up
to.
with
faith,
that
but
thought process. Not
I
just,
have a
you can't
feeling
just
it's
close your
probably
eyes and our
different
problems
with
go away.
humans.
Sorry, you go on.
He looks and he says, "I would rather not go through the trouble of all of that." As he like looks at the imposing hole, he's gonna say,
we could
"I
be
think it would
down
be
there in
best
like a
to
few
go up."
seconds. We'd be down there in a minute. And she kind of does the math in her head, and she's like, "Or we climb for God, that's a big staircase."
Sequoia, I have not reached my prime yet. I don't want to die before that point.
But you're not going to. I don't.
Yes, I
She kind of.
am. As he like looks down quite clearly, just
She kind of goes, "Aaron, we've been over this. You don't even know what a covalent bombelope is. Wait, come on. Just hop in the hole. We all go together on the count of 3, and then we'll be fine."
he's gonna look at Stralda like, "Please help me."
It's and he looks back and is like, "This is your fairy. I don't know how to persuade it out of this."
Hey, I'm my very own person. Thank you very much. I'm a strong and independent fairy.
Of course, I did not mean to demean your own intelligence. I'm just saying, and I'm just saying that the idea of jumping down a 600 feet hole to who God knows where is
But you
idiotic.
agreed
I'm not
earlier
going to
that
tell you
down
this.
is
It's
the way
idiotic.
up because we're down and we want to go up, but we're currently upside the down, right?
You
No,
know
no,
what?
no, no, no. We are just going up. As he's just gonna go, Sequoia.
All right, fine, fine.
So
She's like,
Strala,
it's like
Straladas looks at
very
you.
last over, everyone. We can go down or we don't.
Straladas gonna say, "Well, if you think that this will end well, I I encourage you. Go on, jump, and see how well that ends. But
Based
your
on
mistakes are yours to make, not ours."
But then we get split up and we're still friends. She looks over at Aaron.
he
She's
looks
like,
and goes,
Well, if
"Yes,
it
we are
ends well,
friends, and
we'll
friends
follow you.
don't jump down great pits with each other."
look, when a friend tells you to jump off a cliff, you jump off a cliff. Ah, you mace.
He looks at
Kind of
you and he says, "I
sighs.
was." He gives you this look and he's like, "Oh my god, what? Did they
And she's
teach you?
like,
He's just gonna like."
trusts.
Okay, we're going up. As he's just gonna get going.
Fine, only because the view will be better.
Straladas is going to start pondering for a moment. As he starts following you, but then says, "Well, I can hear the logic. If we're in the underdark, who says the under is now the over?"
Do
That's
any
what
of
I
you
said.
have any understanding of what the Underdark is?
Well,
Honestly,
yeah,
no.
it's when the up is over and the under is down and it's dark. Look around you. And she like points at all the like glowing shrooms.
Okay, I have been taught by basic geological structure that caves are below the surface. The surface is up, and that tunnel is going up.
We could be standing on the ceiling. I'm pretty sure we are actually. And she like points up at like the mushrooms and she's like, those usually grow on ceilings.
No, no, as he's just gonna say, okay, you two, I'm gonna have to take the role as the wise one somehow.
And she kind of goes, I think Strelador here has a lot more years on you in terms of wisdom, young man.
Yes, it's quite undermining to like undermine my spending 69 years just learning philosophy, wisdom, and druidry, and you just say that you can be more wise than me. And
Yeah,
to call
we have
yourself
lived.
wise is calling yourself a fool yourself, because a wise man knows themselves a fool, and a fool knows themselves not a wise man.
And I don't know a lot, but I know that he's smart. And she kind of points over at Strelador.
All I'm saying is I see the logic in the fairy. I see the logic in yours. There is two options here that are as reasonable as the other. You cannot take the intelligence high ground if you look at it right, actually. I mean, fairy could easily be right.
Also, the higher we climb, the bigger the pit will be.
I love the logic.
I
Every step we take up, the pit gets bigger, and she like points at it, and it will never go away until we reach the bottom. And she like looks over, panicked at Streldar.
Straladar's gonna
be at the
say,
bottom. None of us want to be at the bottom.
I want to be at the bottom. I kind of like points towards the pits.
Why?
Straladar's gonna say, if you're so opposed to it, then we can go up. What I'm saying is that there is some logic.
No, I think it's 3 against 1 actually. And the
Three
construct
against one.
bubbles. The construct bubbles.
He looks at you and he says, that thing was, no, Bubbles was birthed out minutes ago. It does not know the comprehension of democracy.
And she
also,
kind
I
of like
think-
goes like,
Person.
I don't know what democracy is. All I know is it agrees with me. Don't you, Bubbles? Bubbles suddenly bowed to her will construct and nods.
I love Bubbles so much. I love him, I love him, I love him.
And Bubbles.
He looks at you just like, what the
It's just like, look, it's very simple. Bubbles was born yesterday. Streladar and I have seen a few things. And you're just in your rebellious teenage phase. And she kind of looks towards Streladar and she's like, clearly we just have to drag him to the pits.
Oh, I'm not saying we do that. I'm not saying I inherently agree with you or you, as he points like Bowie. I'm just saying that both of you have good logic in some way. There is
Sequoia's gonna like walk towards the edge of the pit and she's just gonna stand there. And Bubbles is gonna cross its arms. And Sequoia's gonna stand on top, her arms in as much similar fashion as she just goes, I'm gonna invoke my friendship contract.
Oh no.
He just
She
looks
puffs
and
her
he's gonna
cheeks
say,
out.
Okay, let's get going down the hall then.
She claps.
Oh,
I
we're
knew
actually
you'd come
doing
around.
this. Straladar's gonna say, we're actually doing this?
The important thing is that we close our eyes as we go down.
He's just
Oh
gonna
what?
say,
Don't pity a thing that was already going to die.
Alright. Are you all ready?
oh, why didn't I wish I picked Feather Falling?
Right, let's just get this over with.
Alright. We all jump on 3, okay? 1,
This is how we.
2,
This is how we.
3. She jumps.
Straladar jumps too.
Oh fuck
Aaron
me!
doesn't
Aaron?
jump.
Are
You don't-
jumping, Aaron? Are you jumping, Aaron?
And then next and he says, I would rather die in a hole with some people I argued with than live.
And you jump.
Oh fuck me!
He looks
And
again.
she just goes, remember to close your eyes. And we're jumping, right?
Mhm.
Life was miserable before.
You're
Death
jumping
simply
into the
better.
hole. Okay, I gotta ask. How close together are you sticking, and where around the hole are you staying as you jump?
Sequoia
Aaron
is basically the
right.
construct is basically pushing Aaron down with us. So like we are all like right next to each other.
Okay.
And this is the part where we keep our eyes closed, and then we won't see the ground, and it can't hurt us, guys.
Aaron
Okay.
doesn't close his eyes. He's too paranoid to do that.
Okay.
You don't close your eyes, but you still
Right.
get the featherfall.
Okay. I do need to ask though. Are you staying towards the middle? Or are you staying towards any sort of section of the pit?
I'm thinking like near the wall-ish, you know.
Straladdar's like to the right, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you
Sequoia's like right next to Aaron. We
Okay.
are falling very slowly.
when do you activate the featherfall?
As soon as we start falling, I believe, because I think it
Oh.
lasts for a full minute. So
Thank God. Okay. Yeah.
so I'll just do it after like a little half a second or something. Like you know,
Sure.
just we go down, just
Yeah.
do featherfall.
You featherfall. You fall, and to anyone who wasn't staying in the middle, after about half of the descent, your feet touch solid ground. Remind me, who was staying in the left, the right? Who was staying in the middle?
Straldar was
I
at the
on
right.
left.
I think I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
with the golem.
Sequoia, with your eyes closed, you don't notice this, but you
The golem is vigilant. It
right,
knows, it sees everything.
yes, it knows and sees everything, but it is also a golem
Yes. Yes.
under your command that can't
Yes.
really act without your will.
Yes.
So, Streladar and Aaron, you seem to be at the top of this sort of spiral staircase. And you see Sequoia just descending down where like a hole in the middle to keep going further down. Completely keeping her eyes closed. Really just, the smartest
The
person in this
smartest of
group.
everyone.
They're the smartest among us.
It's fast travel, baby.
Straldar's just gonna look at Aaron and say, "Well, this was much easier than expected."
I would have preferred to
probably
dive
catch up
and
the
be
theory.
wrong.
Well, my dear friend, failure is a way to learn, to be smarter, and to be better.
The thing
um,
I'm worried about is the fact that we are now deeper in the cave.
Well, we're getting somewhere.
I'll say as well, Sequoia, eventually you hit solid ground.
After about a minute, I imagine.
Yes, after about a minute. Do you open your eyes as you do this?
Yeah, because then I can open my eyes. Everything's fine.
Exactly. You open your eyes, you look up, and you see. I'd imagine Straladar and Aaron are looking down at you.
I imagine if they
Um,
have a light source, I would see their light source. Yeah.
Yes. But Straladar and Aaron, you two, as you look around, you see this pit. Strangely, it looks like the walls of this pit have small to medium-sized holes dug out, and you can see in these holes are remnants of sort of precious metals like silver and iron. What do you do as you see this?
Puts his hand along the iron. Caresses it. Looking back at Straladar and saying, rock has been extracted from these walls. Metal. What I've heard druids, it's a scourge of them.
We should keep going. We must stay vigilant, though. We cannot. Actually, can I inspect to see how recent these are?
Yeah. Why don't you give me a investigation check?
Of course. 1 second. There we go. Loading. Investigation.
Yes.
And that would be.
Ooh. Okay.
E.
On a 9, you would know. They don't seem recent at all. They look to be old by any number of years, really up to you. But they certainly aren't something that, like, you can tell that the stone isn't fresh. The metal hasn't been extracted recently, just by the sort of the way that the holes are sort of structured.
Okay.
That's what you can tell.
Straldar's gonna say to Aaron, we should not need to worry about what created these. These are quite old. So, that's at least some consolation.
Yes. I was called a rebellious teenager not 5 minutes ago.
Well,
Remembering
how wrong is that?
he looks and he says, unfortunately, very correct.
I was a rebellious teenager once. I actually did lead a small rebellion.
Oh.
It's more literal, though. As he starts walking down the stairs.
Let it go then, old man.
Yeah, you guys start walking down the stairs. I'll say, as you walk down the stairs, they become more and more sort of, I guess sort of like you can tell they're man-made and sort of like ornately crafted. And you can see some words carved out onto these stairs. Does anyone speak to I guess to Streladar or Aaron? Do either of you know Dwarvish or Dwarven?
Oh
No,
no, I don't.
You don't?
I
Okay.
don't.
They look to be
Every other character I picked dwarven. Fuck.
they look to be, I mean, how you guys know sort of Nordic or runes or like Viking runes
Yeah,
in
yeah.
real life. They basically look like that, very rigid, not very many circles, sort of space like two or three runes or like letters to each spaced out word basically.
Okay.
Um and as you keep walking down, you get to the bottom with Sequoia.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'll say, Sequoia, you are in
She
this.
probably lit a torch or something.
Right, yeah, you lit a torch. You're in this sort of cylindrical area. There is an exit right out in front of you that leads into this sort of underground river that's flowing through. You look out. It's well lit. There are some torches lining the walls, and yeah, you can see that as Streladar and Aaron get down. What do you want to do?
You said the walls were of a natural make, right?
Yes, they are.
And the stairs were not.
The stairs were not, as well as the ground that you are now standing on. It seems to be sort of like plated almost, or like sort of like different slabs, kind of,
I see.
with
So
words. If you also speak Dwarvish.
I do not. Just
Okay.
common and Sylvan in this house. Just common and Sylvan.
All right.
No, she's going to take a good look around. And you said that there was various metals around, right?
They're remnants, so tiny like chunks. Yes.
Well, to a pixie, tiny is normal. So,
Right. I'd say
yeah.
each, like the biggest ones are about the size of your head. The smallest ones being the size of like a fist of yours.
Right. She would probably like see these like huge chunks of rare material. And she would just go, "Bubbles over there," and she walks over and just and like, we need to get that out of the wall somehow. How do I? And she starts looking for her tools, and she's looking for her tools. The golem senses her like subconscious will and just takes one of its like arms and just smashes it into the wall, and it's just this horrid force that just impacts it.
Okay, all right. Damn. I didn't realize he was cool like that.
Yeah, it's cool like that. It deals force damage for some reason.
Right. Yeah. It
yeah.
starts sort of extracting these ores. Roll me a d6 and a d4.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Minecraft and punch the wall.
Sure.
A 1 on the d6 and a 3 on the d4.
Okay. You're able to get about like one medium or sort of like head-sized chunk of iron and three smaller fist-sized chunks of silver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for describing it in vague anatomical terms. That could mean that they are big, but we know they are small.
Right, like,
you for-
sorry, fist
thank
and head relating to your size, not like the
exactly.
average
Thank you,
person's.
thank you. Yeah. Are you saying something about the average here, Baku? Sequoia is above average, I'll let you know.
She's above average for pixies, yes.
Yes. You've been over this.
Yes.
Whoa, she's the orange lady.
She's above average.
Alright, so, yeah, you do this, Streladar and Aaron, you get to the bottom. And everyone roll me a perception check, real quick.
Yeah.
Sure. We love
Yeah, it's
passives.
17.
Sequoia the orange.
Let me roll perception. It's a 7. Even if I somehow bargain for advantage, it's an 8. However, passives.
Okay, this will be interesting. So, Sequoia, you do... Wait, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 11. The golem's is 14.
The golems is 14. Okay. In
Yes.
that case, yeah, I'd say everyone except for Sequoia, you're able to see walking sort of actually let me pull up the next map.
Pulling up?
I'm Yeah, I'm going to apologize to you because my Incarnate Pro subscription ran out,
Oh
so
no.
the maps are now few and far between. But you're able to
Alright.
see in this sort of next chamber. This is where you guys are in the bottom, and um, at the sort of top, you're able to see this person fully covered in blood. You guys are like over here, but like fully covered in blood and like guts. Like completely drenched, sword out, also covered in blood, stumbling towards over here, which seems to be a staircase up. This person, Sequoia, you notice your robot or golem move its head towards where this is, and as it does, your head moves as well. I'd suppose.
It would just like kind of tap her on the shoulder, and she'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what? Oh." She kind
Uh,
of looks over at points.
and yeah, it sees this. I'll say, Aaron, roll a history check.
History. Okay,
History.
let's see. 13.
Okay. You see this person. You can tell, despite this person being completely covered in like blood, guts, just disgusting things. First off, they're human. They are this human in like metal armor, blank expression. You see, in terms of like the shape of like armor and the kind of sword they wield, you would recognize this as a sword sworn, one of the High Council's chosen appointed warriors. They're sort of forged from a young age to be these indomitable sort of forces of the High Council. They are used to sort of quell potential revolt against the High Council, and they're feared far more than respected. Uh, you also know if they show up where you live, it is never a good thing. It means you have fucked up and now you're gonna die.
Looks
Uh,
as
sorry, I'll just say another thing, or a couple other things. You notice in these sort of cracks between the dried blood, you notice his skin has this sort of pinkish hue to it. And you also notice it's he's alone, which never happens with Swordsworn. They always go in groups. Even the smallest groups are a formation of 10 to 15 Swordsworn.
okay.
So one being alone like this never happens.
He nods and he looks at the other two and he says, "It's a sword swan. It's not uncommon. It's
What did he swear?
why is he alone? They're crushers, quellers. They're not scouts or mercenaries. What is a sword swan doing in this place? The high. Why would the High Council have any business in this place?"
Wait,
Um,
crushers and quellers, like with oranges?
everyone.
I think Straladar is going to turn to Aaron and say, "Are they known to be friendly?"
No. If one shows up at your doorstep, you are not long for this world. Your family is not long for this world, and your
What do you
grave
mean
and
I'm not
name
long?
will not be long.
What do you mean I'm not long? She like looks over, offended.
Vixen says, "Death. You will
Oh.
be dying very quickly if they are at your doorstep."
Are you
Why
all?
did you just say that?
Are you talking particularly loudly, or are you trying to be
No,
quiet,
no,
everyone?
he is not talking
I feel like the
loudly.
golem would have made an angry noise when like Aaron said you're not long.
Okay, at that noise, you notice the Swordsworn jerk his head over to where it is, moving in these strange, like mechanical motions, um, uh, which is a trait that Swordsworn have, but not to this degree. As it looks over to you, and points its sword towards you, mutters some arcane words, and disappears. Seemingly casts a spell.
What kind of spell?
Are you going to use your funny little reaction to tell what spell it is?
I'd love to.
You can tell it's an invisibility spell. You can see trace
Oh.
amounts of this person
Mhm.
heading towards you.
Oh, well, if he's casting invisibility, he's like, I can't quite see you there. I'm just going to,
Mm-hmm.
fairy fire? Because,
Oh,
being a pixie,
nice! That's
uh,
big.
I was
That's a
gonna be like,
so that's a
it's
dex
a
save.
deck save? I
Okay,
believe, yeah. He
let
probably makes
me.
this, but who knows?
I guess we'll see. That's a
Yeah.
13.
13 that fails. It's just like Sequoia just like waves over, and as she's waving really quickly, there's this fucking like gust of like dust is just going his way, and it just sticks to him.
Yeah, very nice. You do this, and it is like this dust is completely covers him. Looks down. You can now see he looks down at his hands. He's like the river isn't deep. He's like about in the middle of it now, and it only goes up to his waist. He looks down at his hands and starts heading towards you faster. I want everyone to roll me initiative.
Oh
Oh,
no,
okay.
that's
Nice.
I pixies have certain advantages. Dust is one
He's
of
gonna
them.
look as well, and he's gonna say to everyone, "Be careful, they're dangerous. Even whatever's wrong with them. Formidable they are."
Oh, that's dramatic.
Indeed.
They
Very.
should be.
Oh my god.
They will salt your
Sequoia just
fields
kind of says,
and they will
I
kill
don't
you.
think he's friendly. It's the same look as those goblins.
Let me roll initiative.
Uh,
Oh, I'll add initiative for you guys. Sorry, I did not notice you rolled it.
No
Can I clear it
worries,
out?
he is faster, and that's lovely.
uh,
Sequoia, you need to. What the fuck?
12.16. Huh?
Why is it 0.16?
That's the dex tiebreaker, because Baku uses dex tiebreaker. So if there's two people with a 12, 16 is my dex scores, so then you can see the 16 is like the tiebreaker.
Huh.
So I rolled a 12, but
I
16 is a
unfortunately
tiebreaker.
cannot edit my thing.
You can
Yeah,
turn it
hold
on
on.
in
I'll
the
add
little cogwheel.
it. 2. All right.
It does look a little bit cursed.
So you guys can you guys see the turn order?
Yes.
Yeah, but
do
Aaron and
know what it
Strellador are
is. It's
zeros.
The monster.
The zeros?
Sequoia.
Oh, now there's updated.
Figure out I can't.
All right.
I'm just like on the same space as my little golem here, but I'll just keep my character next to it.
All right. So it is the Swordsworn's turn first. It is going to. Well, it's going to have to take 15 feet of movement because it is in difficult terrain. So it's only able to get over to here, but. Yeah. It's going to attempt to throw its spear at. Oh, I should probably make all of your sizes large.
Oh, I was wondering, is he just a really big dude?
Yeah, he's just super buff, you know. Hit the gym
Oh my
just
god,
so much.
you've bigified it so that. Oh my god, finally, yes. Yes, except Sequoia.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to make it an attack against you, Aaron.
Oh, brilliant. Yep, go on,
How's it
please.
attacking?
Oh wait, that's a
Yeah, that
melee.
hits.
Sorry.
How's it attacking?
Wrong thing. It's a ranged attack.
Okay.
I'll just roll the damage is the same, so hold on. So that hits. In that case, that is. Ooh, that's not great.
Isn't it?
That's 2 nat 1, so that's 6 damage.
Nice. You see him just. As it goes and hits it, as much as it like just misses where the scar was. It's like,
Mhm.
oh.
Yeah, you see he winds the spear back like it's a fucking football, American football, and just
Yeah.
chucks it at you, and does some pretty bad damage, honestly.
I've
But
seen Straladar dancing as he looks and then he goes, Sequoia, please avenge me.
She goes,
speaking of, it is
friendship
your turn.
contracts. Go get him, Bubbles. She's going to take a shot with her bow, which seems to be laced with a trillium now for some fucking reason. She's just put it in everything. She doesn't even really know what it does. She's gonna try to take a shot at it.
All right, roll to
it's a
hit.
20. Does that hit?
Yeah, 20 hits.
Okay, that would be 10 piercing damage. I rolled a 6. As
Wha-
basically, instead of seeing a normal arrow now, it's just, it lights up and it just, as this bolt of like force comes out of it.
Jesus, 10 damage?
Yep.
Wow. Okay,
Magical.
yeah. You send this in, and as you fire this out and hit with it, you notice that the Swordsworn stops in its tracks for a second. Aaron, you would know Swordsworn don't stop like pursuing their targets unless, like all mortals, they are exhausted. So it seems that this one might be exhausted from whatever it was doing recently.
He looks. He's taking that into account.
And,
As he's going to
huh?
He's actually gonna fucking.
It's still my
Yeah,
turn,
look,
but
me-
it's still my turn. It's still my
Yeah,
turn.
no,
but yeah.
he's just pondering this. Don't worry.
Okay, just checking because I have a bonus action.
Yeah, I know. Dice do many things.
They do many things, and in this case, Bubbles will. I assume I can reach that with 40 feet of movement.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So,
Yep.
unless it's blue, there isn't
Oh, no.
difficult terrain. You reach it,
Cool.
totally.
And she's Bubbles is just gonna bash it in the face.
Nice. Roll the hit.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to command it. I am indeed going to roll to hit with this scrunkly little NPC sheets. I feel like a DM for some reason. This is weird. An 8 does not hit, I assume.
An 8 does not hit.
It goes in for a slappy, but its funny little golem mud arms are not doing great in the wetness.
All right. Does that end
That's
your
true.
turn?
Yeah,
Alright.
the answer.
Aaron, it's your turn.
Okay. So he is going to. He's gonna look at that thing and he's gonna notice that he's exhausted and he's gonna see if he's gonna find a weak point. I'm gonna use Ray of Enfeeblement on it.
Ooh.
20.
That's a 20!
Let me just check something really quick. Oh,
wait, no,
fuck.
no.
I feel so mean for doing this.
Uh-huh.
So
Let's describe it.
normally, he has an AC of 16, but as you launch this, you see he conjures up magically a shield, and the spell bounces off of it.
Ah, shit. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Grr.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Oh, I feel like an asshole. Yeah, but that's what he does for his
He's
reaction.
gonna just, move a bit here, just.
Mhm.
And that is the end of my turn.
I'm sorry. Straladar, it's your turn.
No worries, I prefer playing Marshall as half of the things we do don't get to happen.
So true.
It's the Marshall experience. You roll a d20 and nothing happens.
I love playing
Now
the
will
game.
slightly step forward, and he's going to say, "I feel like there might be another solution than immediate violence. I
Looks
would
at you and he says,
maybe like
"These
to open
things
the
do
dialogue
not have
instead of
any
just
reason.
being trying
Don't
to
you
kill
dare try and actually."
He's having a little
And
meltdown,
he's
teenage
going to try
revenge.
and he's now going to say, "Oh, maybe you can put down our blades and we can all have a nice little chat about what you're doing down
listen
there."
to me. These people are
going
raised
to
from
roll a
birth to
persuasion
be
check.
weapons.
Okay, you do not get advantage because this is another human. Are you a human?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do not get advantage.
Is he a variant? No, I'm not gonna.
Is he a human though, Baku? Like, is he a human though? Like, is he?
Well, right
Is he
now
even
he's a human.
humanoid? That's ominous.
Hmm?
19.
19. I feel like an asshole. What do you
Yeah.
say? What do you say?
Streldar's going to say, Almighty warriors should know not to want war, but to always be ready for it. We are not here to bring battle.
You say this, no discernible reaction from him. You don't hear anything at all. Doesn't
Okay,
even
is that
turn
my
his.
action?
That is not. I'll say that's a free action.
Okay.
But he doesn't like turn his head or anything like that. He seems to be focused right now on the steel defender that tried to hit him.
Streldar's just going to sigh as he will. I guess. But you know what? Sure, why not? Can I like center an entangled enough to not hit Sequoia?
Yeah, totally you can. I just remembered. I believe he has. You have advantage on attacks to hit him, right? Because of fairy fire.
Oh, that's true. That's
Oh
22
my
there.
god, that's
So,
true.
Gibbo, why don't we just reverse this? Gibbo, why don't you do the what is it?
Oh my
Raven
God,
Feeblement
yeah,
thing
the
because that's
Raven
22.
Oh my god, the power of friendship and pixie dust.
Okay, so
Uh,
enfeeblement, as he would feel his blood become thinner,
Hmm.
there's this beam of going from red to dark to black. And it means that the target deals only half the damage they would with a weapon which
Ooh.
involves strength.
That's brutal. All right.
Yeah, that's
And Sequoia, I believe, roll damage as well for your force empowered rend because that's 22.
Oh wow, you're right. Actually, holy heck, that is a 22. Yeah, I will indeed roll damage. I believe it's a D8.
It is a D8, I think.
Let me just double check. Yeah,
What-
it's a D8
yeah.
plus 2, so 6 force damage.
Nice. Did Raven Feeblement do any damage to him?
I don't think it deals damage, right?
no, Raven Feeblement doesn't do damage. It just means that he can't do damage.
All right. Cool. So 6 force damage, you said?
Mhm.
Nice. All right. In that case, continue with what you were doing, Straladar.
Feels so
Okay,
good
with the
now.
new information that he's
Yes.
brave and feeble, he's much less of a threat. So instead, I'm just gonna do a classical mold earth beneath his feet. He's now gonna just start sinking into the ground a little bit.
All right. How did I roll that last time? Was it dex save?
I don't think he did a save, no.
Huh. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, because he had to get up in order to. Okay. Then yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah, you just feel like this ground beneath him become almost like quicksand and starts giving away beneath his feet as he sinks 5 feet.
For what it's worth, he's taller than 5 feet, so it seems significantly less detrimental than it was for the goblin that you did it to.
Oh, this is actually so big.
But it's still annoying.
It's still definitely annoying and will hinder some of his movement, if not an action or a bonus action. Next.
Oh my god, wait, I can now use ranged attacks normally because I
He's
love
fine.
Strelladar. I love you.
All right. Does that end your turn?
Yes, that will end Streladar's turn as he looks kind of disappointed he wasn't able to go with a diplomatic solution here.
All right. In that case, it is the Swordsworn's turn, and he's going to use all of his movement to get out of the hole.
He
Moving
climbs
over,
out of the hole.
moving over here now, and he will make 3 melee attacks on you, Sequoia, or at least your little scrunkle.
Oh,
3.
interesting. On me or my scrunkle?
Your
Because
scrunkle,
on my scrunkle. Okay, that is interesting.
because I believe you're hiding behind your scrunkle right now,
I'm just sitting on it. I'm just sitting on the shoulder.
it. Right, yeah, it's going to attack the bigger target here, so it's going to do a multi-attack.
AC is 15 to hits.
Got
oh my
it.
god, it's a gladiator.
That
17,
hits. 17 hits.
19,
19 hits.
and 18.
18 hits. Yeah, all of these hits. 11 piercing.
Wait,
So that
no, wait. That is so
Half
11,
all of that.
17,
Oh, wait, you're right.
19, 29 divided by 2.
No, it's 11 rounded down as 5, 6 rounded half. Holy hell, it rolled 2 once again.
That is
So that's
14.
8 damage,
thank
so
God.
then plus 6. It's 14 damage. Yeah, you
14
saved the
damage
Skrunkle's
raising
life.
people,
You saved my
mate.
Skrunkle's life.
Lord. Okay, yeah. You see the Swordsworn holds another spear, sort of unsheathes it, and just starts hacking away at this straw effigy, and just tries to break it. Doing a decent amount of damage, but seemingly hindered by whatever spell Aaron casted.
Oh, that. Yeah, he needs to make a con save now. He needs to make
Oh right, okay, con save.
Yeah, it's at the end of his turn. Come on,
Come on,
please,
England.
please. Come on, England.
Oh,
Yeah,
He fails it!
he gets a +3 to that, but it doesn't matter because that's even with the +3, that's an 8. So yeah, he fails. Very nice. All right, cool. That ends his turn. Sequoia, you're up.
Yeah, I am indeed up. And Sequoia is going to see what just happens to her poor creature, and is going to do absolutely the stupidest thing that you could ever do when facing like a grizzled combat veteran to make yourself the most horrid target available. She goes, "No, wait, I just made this thing," and she just immediately takes out her multi-tool and just flips down her goggles and just she casts mending on it.
Is that a minute though?
Oh yeah. No, wait. The other mending. Because the creature has an action, and I can use my bonus action to do this. It repairs, and that looks like this.
Okay.
So with my bonus action, I'm basically repairing this thing.
Yeah, totally.
So it's not mending. You're right. You are correct. Slash roll 2d8. So it then rolls 9. So it heals 9 of that HP. So how much damage did it take then?
Plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh, plus my proficiency bonus, so it heals 11. So it only took 3, so it's at 18 now. Okay. As you see her kind of quickly slap things back together, it's not as good as it looked, but it's all right. And after she does that, I can't make ranged attacks normally here, but it is currently pixie dusted up, so I am going to just shoot it without advantage.
All right.
Boop. Does a 22 hit?
22 absolutely hits. Roll damage.
As she just like starts like repairing this, and then she's like, "Oh right," and then with her other hand she just shoots it. As she like, she's not there. Yep, that will be my turn. Yes, we love artificers. We love doing things.
So you dealt 8 damage, you said?
Yes, 8 damage, magical.
Sorry, let me just write that down.
8 scrunkly magical damages.
Very cool. Yeah, this guy's not looking great.
He wasn't looking great to start with.
Yeah, he's looking probably worse now. But Aaron, that is your turn.
Okay. I need him to make a con save now.
Now? Alright.
No. Now, what, huh?
No, this is a different thing.
I love just ominously saying he makes a con save and not telling the DM why. It's my favorite thing.
Well, let's see what he got. 12. He is rolling very shitty on these saves.
Aaron puts his hand out and clenches. Before... I want to express this is like a... That is shatter. Centered here.
Whoa.
Because so centered around here. As it just explodes in the water behind him. There's this ringing, horrible, dreadful bang. It's the thunder, storm, all in that little bit of water. That is 13 thunder.
Nice. Yeah, you as you do this, you create these two massive, sort of opposing waves of water that slam down the walls of this river, traveling further down. And 13 thunder damage, you said? Holy fuck.
Sequoia kind of like gets shot away by the blast because she's so small, but then the golem just kind of catches her like a football.
Alright, Straladar, it's your turn.
And he's still alive.
Wow.
I
He's
was
not
expecting
looking
a
great.
wound.
Not looking great, but yes, he's still alive.
Thing is, he's kind of in like an awkward spot where he can hardly move right now, right? So it's like, I don't want to do Thorn Whip because I'll just like get him out of it for free. Like,
Yeah, but then he's surrounded by his scrunkles.
that is true. But he's almost dead, so he's not.
I just realized. I'm sorry. I need to roll some con saves for his invisibility since that's technically still up.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Technically, it can't benefit from it anyways.
If any of these are lower than,
Yeah, the
he
first one.
fails. Only the first one though. Invisibility drops.
Okay.
That's so silly.
I'm going to. You know what? You make a good point. He'll be just surrounded and he'll have nowhere he can go.
I mean, you can also just leave him there after you hit him, right? It's like, yeah, you can move him up to 10 feet closer. So it's like you can choose to like just like, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to use my Thorn Whip.
All right. Roll to hit.
17.
Oh right, 17. Yeah, that hits.
We love advantage.
This spiky vine lashes out from his hands, and I should probably move him so we can actually like see him, right? So like, and yeah, I'm going to lash onto his arm and do 4 damage, and he's moved 10 feet closer.
Okay.
It's the classic D&D endgame. 4 party members of 1 guy.
So he's moved 10 feet closer.
Yep.
It's like bearish, I guess. Oh, you are very close.
We'll call it right there.
Yeah.
It is.
Sequoia
Zat,
duck
ends your turn.
underneath the whip. Holy.
And yeah, that'll end my turn. Actually, is Sequoia looking okay?
Yeah, she's looking totally fine. She just looked a
Okay.
bit panicked for her beautiful creation's health.
All right. Okay. Then.
All right.
Yeah.
It's now the Swordsworn's turn. He is going to make a melee attack against each one of you.
So,
Oh, okay.
when the melee attack goes towards Aaron, specifically when it goes towards Aaron,
Specifically Aaron, right.
the golem, Bubbles here will kind of, like, bash an arm against its fucking sword arm and just give disadvantage on the attack roll.
Alright, let me roll it.
Pray to God it helps.
Let me roll it. There we go. That is a 16 with
Nope,
disadvantage.
that still hits.
Still hits.
That's
Still
10
hits.
piercing.
5 piercing. 5 piercing.
Oh, right, 5 piercing.
Yeah, Ray of Enfeeblement. Holy shit, that thing is.
Alright, Sequoia, now he is targeting you, specifically, not
Yep.
the mech. That's 15 to hit.
Look at my sheet. Look at my sheet. I say 16 AC.
Oh, okay.
She is very small and hard to hit. But the thing that really protects her here is the fact that her beautiful armor has these engraved little patches of protection on it, you see. Because he actually managed to hit her, but it just kind of bounces off somehow. It looks weirdly cartoonish.
Alright. Straladar, it's going to make an attack against you. That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Actually, both like the 10 would have hit as well.
That is
That's a
5
5.
piercing damage. As it does this, and then it essentially holds its spear and circles around, like in the circular motion, attacks all of you in one swipe. Missing you, Sequoia, but slashing both Straladar and Aaron. After that, since he's wielding the sword in one hand, the spear in one hand, let me just double check something, if you don't mind. Where is it? Okay, he says magic words, some spell component. I'd say anyone who wants to right now can make an Arcana check.
26.
26.
Okay.
Misty
I will
Step.
make an Arcana check.
Misty Step. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
And you see, he just warps over here.
He's running away. Oh no.
And then is going to use, yeah. 7, you don't know what the spell is, but all of a sudden you just see him on the other side of the room.
Wait a minute.
Um,
My cousin used to do that. So she immediately turns around and she's like, there you are.
You see now the Swordsworn leaning up against the cave, gasping for air, as these arrows and thorns are impaled into it, slowly trying to make his way up this sort of staircase over here. As it's the end of his turn, Sequoia, you're up.
Sequoia will look over at Aaron for the affirmative nod on whether or not to kill him.
Kill it.
Great. She's going to take her bow and she's gonna.
All right, roll the hit.
17 hit.
A 17 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's a 10 again.
Wait, actually, let me double check something. Oh, melee attack. Yeah, 10 piercing. Jesus.
Yep, magical again.
Holy.
I have been high rolling today.
Okay,
She
yeah.
hasn't even upgraded yet.
A bolt fires into his back as he's trying to escape. Stumbles over a bit, still standing, but barely. Aaron, it's your turn.
Whoa. My bonus.
Oh,
action.
sorry, bonus action. I'm so sorry.
Artificers, man. Artificers, they're not okay. How much feet is it to get over there?
That would be, so this section right here, this is doubled movement. So it would be 40 feet to cross it.
I have exactly 40 on my golem.
Well, then you can make it. I'll say over, since you're right here. Oh, wait, snapped a corner. You can make, there, since you're already sort of in it. You can make it right up to him.
Am I going to stick behind? Heck no, I'm gonna go with him. Bubbles, what did you say he was trying to do? Like, he was, like, leaning on the staircase or something?
No, leaning, he has this sort of hand on the cave, sort of leaning over on it, like the cave wall, as he's sort of, like, clutching some of his wounds, gasping for air.
He said kill it. I will follow the good words. That would be a 20?
Let me just double check something.
Same.
That hits.
That's 8 force damage?
How do you want to do this?
As Aaron said, kill it. It's very ambiguous for statements. But the golem seems to understand just fine. As it kind of just like goes for the knees and just kind of strikes it down, and then when it's on the floor, it just kind of like steps on the head.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. You step on its head, completely crushing it, and you see a small little tadpole squirm out and jump into the water.
Oh my god. Mm.
Interesting. A tadpole?
If you want to roll a nature check to see if you know what it was.
She doesn't
you
know
are
much
far
of the
too far
natural
away
world,
to see it,
but
I'll say.
I can try.
Yep.
Let's say 19.
Okay. Yeah, you're sort of putting everything together. You're in the Underdark. You were sort of in this dwarven area before. You would know. First off, you would know that if there are dwarves in the Underdark, they're most likely deep dwarves. Deep dwarves are, we'll say, good at attracting a certain kind of creature, one that likes the delicacy of brain. That tadpole would have eventually grown into a mind flayer or an illithid.
Oh no. She kind of looks at it and like this crushed corpse, like, I'm in danger.
All right.
She verbally exclaims this. She verbally exclaims that she is in danger.
Yeah, you guys hear this. You hear Sequoia say this. What is your reaction?
Streladar would be confused, but would be curious and would start to try and make his way over to Sequoia.
She kind of looks over.
Streladar?
Yeah?
He asks if you're doing all right.
Where was he cut before? Where was he slashed?
Who?
He.
You were cut along the chest, basically.
As he kind of like, I, I don't know if caress is the right word, but like he'll move his hand towards where he was cut and would kind of like wipe it a little bit and says, "I'll be fine. I've suffered worse in my lifetime."
Uh,
I think we might be about to suffer much worse. Straladar, she seems like she's kind of freaking out. She's like,
What's
"Oh no,
wrong?
this is what I get. This is what I get for studying so much my whole life. Oh no, this is what I get for learning things." And she's like, "Oh, I hope this isn't my fault.
What's wrong?
I saw a tadpole.
Yes, frogs. They're very intriguing.
No, illithids."
I roll like a nature or history just like to know what some stuff
Yeah,
about
I'll say
it.
both of you can roll nature, history, or religion.
And Sequoia just kind of starts yapping about them. So if you like, just about like illithids.
Or roll a perception check to try to gain any
yes!
information from that.
Can I?
Can I
history.
help Aaron here or no? Like,
I'll say you
Yo,
can give the
even
help action.
Aaron's oh my
Yeah.
god! Even Aaron is a nerd emoji for illithids.
Oh, these are big rolls along the board. Yeah. So both of you already know what I told Sequoia. I'll say Straladar. You know, they. I mean, they haven't been sighted that much. You didn't see the tadpole yourself, so you're slightly skeptical as to whether that's really what it was. But whether you take her word for it or not is up to you. Aaron, you know, the last documented sighting of illithids was in a drow colony that the High Council chose to completely wipe out to exterminate the spread of sort of mind flayers. So to see one, at least in Xandril, is extremely surprising because pretty much everyone had thought them to be extinct.
I did not think they still existed.
oh no, they're gonna eat me. They're gonna eat me. They're gonna gobble me up whole.
No, they're
They're
not.
gonna gobble me up
He
whole,
looks
guys.
and he
This
says,
is not the time to panic.
She's
biologically,
panicking.
your brain is
panicking.
not big
My-
enough for
My
them
brain.
to host.
I'm not worried about my brain. And she completely glosses over the fact that you called her brain small, and she's just like, "You have you seen the size of that thing? It was like 2 whole inches big."
Stradar's going to look at Sequoia and with a smile say, "Not worry. This may seem to be a problem in the future, but we're in the now.
Oh, and
Keep
she
your
kind of nods.
worry about the future will end in paranoia.
Huh.
Care about the now, what is happening now, and right now we're
Well-
in a deep, dark underplace that we should probably attempt to find a way out of."
She looks
As
at
he's
you. She
attempting to
nods.
calm her down.
She kind of nods. She pulls down her goggles as you say this, and she's like, "Oh, I know. I was busy panicking." So, and she looks over at her construct. I can probably do more constructive things. Right.
Yes.
She starts patching up the construct.
All right. As you do this, you all feel a voice invade your minds as you hear in this loud booming, not in the real world, but rather, I suppose, to anyone who has any experience with it, but telepathically, you hear, "You took my thrall from me. You let a tadpole escape. For this, I will give you two options. Flee to the surface, or stay down here and die." And then the voice disappears.
Huh.
Well, those are quite insightful options.
Really quite the ultimatum. I do
We're
have to
going
give this
up.
one some thought.
As you're all saying this, I'll say you're able to see this before, but just to show you now, looking sort of this way, deep, like there seems to be a path following the river, going right off this the map, and you're able to see over that way. If I can throw this up, this, which, Aaron, you would recognize as a deep dwarf colony. Although you you can see the lights are still on, but there is no sign of movement. And if you want to, Aaron, roll me a perception check.
Okay. Um.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
You can see there are bodies littering the entry, the stairwells, and the towers of this place. It looks to be a complete massacre. This is about this is pretty far away. This is about like 200, maybe 300 meters away. Um, so that's what you know pretty much.
Bodies, dead bodies, as he looks at Sequoia, saying that, lines the halls of that city. It's not a dwarven settlement. Would have been, if there still are those psychic speakers.
I think I just heard one. Did you hear one? It might have
You'll
been my
hear one.
imagination.
As he looks and he says, "A thing, whatever the many things of those, I have a feeling they would have killed the dwarven ranks.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that those were more for other purposes. You know the mind flayers, they use mainly human bodies.
Mhm.
Those tadpoles will infect you, stay in you, and transform you into one of them.
I
They don't do
think
it
they'll
with
just eat
dwarves.
me.
Don't eat, they...
No, they will just eat me. Have you seen the teeth on those things?
Sequoia, I don't know if you have too much to worry about.
I am very worried. They're attracted to intelligence, you know. Of course, you're calm right now. You don't understand. I have so many years in here. And she looks over at her machine. This is practically screaming that I'm a genius. As she like looks at the golem, it's like,
Oh.
Way I see it, we have two choices right now. We do what we can presume as the greater good, and to fight it. Stop it from causing any more harm to any more people who have the misfortune of wandering upon it.
Those weren't your
Or we
options.
live here for our own self-interest and self-care, and not possibly die.
Yes, fight the
Favorite
illithid at
move.
level 3. Yes.
He
Yeah,
looks
sounds
and
like a
saying,
great idea.
Stralladar, I have been on the run for a long while. I do not want to die to a mind flayer.
Okay. Well, I agree with Aaron on this one actually.
He's
And
actually going
they've
to
got
look and
two
he's going to
options.
say,
Either we
"You can
die.
stay down here and enact the greater good if you want. I'm going up this staircase."
I mean,
He's
we did
mainly
kind of
laying
get
the
two
options
options,
down.
and the
He's
only one of
walking up.
them
He
we
is
live.
not. He has no time for any philosophical. He is leaving.
Galador will follow along, as he was
It's-
only laying down the options for
Okay.
what
Sequoia is kind of walking along Strellador. It's like I'm kind of forced with a friendship contract to go along with what he wants to do.
That's fine. I wasn't advocating for going over there.
She kind of looks over and she's like, "I really would like to check out the architecture there. Just a little, just a little while." But
I mean,
You could do it. I'll say,
there's nothing stopping us.
Sequoia, if you want to, you could pull out some paper and do a quick sketch of it if you want.
yeah, I'd love to do that actually.
Yeah,
Like
just
she's
roll-
basically just gonna beg you guys if she can stay a few more minutes just to like get the drawing out, just so it's fresh,
Okay.
you know.
This is Abanaran kind of like regales his story, and he says, "The last time they were seen it was in a drow colony. The High Council had sent troops to destroy the infection of mind flayers. Because once you have one or two, you're not long before there are hundreds. And that's if one still remains, and if there are ones speaking to us, they failed." He's going to look and he's going to actually say to Stralladar, "Careful what you think. We can hear you."
I often think out loud. Most people can hear me when I think.
Ah. Oh. It's worrying to think is he's like saying, if a sword sworn especially was infected by the mind flayers, then who knows what happened to all of the dwarves or drow living down there. They
Um,
don't use dwarves as host. They
uh,
cull them.
I'll say, Aaron, you also know the last time, when the Drow colony was completely like exterminated. That was, if you don't mind me checking my notes real quick, that
Oh yeah, no.
was 300 years ago. So very long time ago.
It was long ago, 300 years ago, they were exterminated. And as he's like actually looking back and he's thinking, never thought they existed. I feel we were lucky enough to live in a time that they didn't. You know, some people believe they come from the skies,
Well,
very
if you-
far in the skies.
So I was gonna say, well, if you let me finish my philosophical questioning, we would have been able to know the options of making sure that there is no more, but you shut that down immediately.
Yes, because I don't care about the options. I want to leave.
But what about the greater picture, the bigger picture? There is a chance here we could go down in history as the one to truly get rid of the, the Illithids, mind flayers. We could be the ones to finish the job that they could not.
This thing says, well, maybe we can be that another day. At the
I
moment,
don't know
we're
if
not
we have a
that.
chance to be in a position like this. And if we do, then we're probably suicidal.
He looks and says, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the most virtuous person. Been on the run for a long while. Seen a lot of things. I've ignored them. A
You're
lot
wrong.
to worry about. I
You're
expect
wrong.
you.
We will say, Kieran, one thing that I learned in my long time is that no matter how fast you run, how much you try and keep away, how much you make haste and take speed, doesn't matter. Fast can run too. Maybe just as fast. It's only a matter of time before it finds you as well.
He doesn't respond to that. I don't want to believe you.
When it's hard to look, life is trying to tell you something that is true.
Sequoia,
I think Sequoia's gone right now.
okay.
I'm not doing the Sequoia voice, so we are here without her for a bit.
We're just gonna
Okay,
wait. We're just gonna wait.
okay. Yeah, so no, we are not facing mind flayers at level 3.
Yeah. No, what do you mean? That sounds like a great idea. And I promise it's
Oh
just a
yeah, not
regular
like
mind
a,
flayer. I promise it's just a
not like
regular
that.
Ithalid.
Not like psychic damage is notorious for being like.
Guys, please do
Oh.
not check page 71 of Volo's Guide to Monsters. I promise it's not weird.
Not like mind flayers, even though they're a CR8 monster, could probably take on about like a party of about level 15s.
Yeah, I promise this is just a regular mind flayer too. I promise there isn't anything saucy with it. I promise it
Oh,
isn't
no.
from Volo's Guide.
Oh, no, please. I haven't read Volo.
Kid named the Ulatharid.
The Ulafard, oh my god, the. Oh.
Oh my god, the rare shit Asatharid.
The rare Kumathard.
I have returns.
Alright.
Okay. The, Oh, okay, so it's travel.
Sequoia has finished her little drawing, and it's pretty dark, but she made a rudimentary
Pretty
sketch.
good timing is, Aaron and what is it,
She's kind of like,
Shaladar.
look what I make, guys. And she's like, you can see the spiky bit? That's supposed to be
I'm back.
the portcullis, but I couldn't quite get it from this angle. But we should probably get going.
We should. Nice
All right.
drawings.
You guys start heading up the staircase, step by step, stair by stair. You ascend, hearing the drip from
Drip?
the stalagmites or stalactites or whichever one hangs from
Wait,
the
are you
ceiling.
saying that there is a drip among us?
Oh my god! Shut up. You hear the rushing water of the river fade. You hear it all
Wait, the
fade.
water is Russian? Is it like
Oh my
going
god!
suka?
I'm gonna have to mute you if you keep doing this. You hear it all fade into nothingness until after about 30 minutes, you eventually get to a very ornate door at the top of the staircase. What do you want to do?
I look at the other two and I'm gonna put my hand on it.
I mean, push or pull? That is the question.
I'm gonna do both.
And Sequoia will ask Strelador what he thinks is the correct one, to push or to pull, you know?
Simplest of changes can only take a single push.
Huh, alright. Push! She kinda goes.
Yeah, you push on it, and it opens extremely creakily.
Oh.
As it opens, there is nothing but darkness in front of you. You look down, and you're able to see grass, and ahead of you, you're able to see what looks to be trees, but you have never seen, even if it is night out, you have never seen a night so dark in your entire life.
Childar's gonna say, might not be what it first seems. In all my time, I've never seen such a dark night.
You're able to feel the rush of cool wind past you, and like fresh air. You're able to breathe it, but overall, it's still slightly chilling. Just a night this dark.
Sequoia, you don't happen to be able to illuminate this.
Childar's
Well,
gonna light a torch.
kinda goes over. She's like, so as Strelador's lighting this torch, Sequoia goes, well, it kind of depends. I mean, there's a few things that I would need to get. I mean, everything considered, there are some parts out there that I need. I could just illuminate it with like a simpler tool, but I think it would be a lot more efficient
I didn't
if we
know
made
you
a
were
10
practical.
gold. Oh, and she kind of looks over and she's like, or we do that. That was going to be my next suggestion. I was just giving you the answer that while I could light a torch, if I had a 10 gold or so investment in more valves and parts and things, then I could probably make a more permanent light fixture.
Investment,
you
Crowley.
You see, there's been a
Not all
thing
my
that
artifices
humans
are Crowley.
had for generations called fire, and it's
You didn't
produced-
ask her if she was. You didn't say make fire. You asked if she could make fire. This is what you get.
He's going to start walking out into the forest.
Before you do, I will say you light this torch, hold it up, and it produces light, but it just makes the darkness even more apparent. This sort of darkness is unthinkable. Just this vast, open nothingness. Everyone give me a wisdom save.
Man, we should have gone.
Oh no!
Why
I
did
feel
I
like we might
listen
have
to
walked
you?
Why
towards
are we in the
list.
shadow
Oh,
fell?
wait,
We did
no?
go up. We did go up.
You went up.
We did go
You went
Why
up.
did I listen to any of you?
We literally went up because you were like, "No, mind flayer bad." Does my
I was
scrunkle make a
down
wish
to try a
save?
mind flayer, honestly.
No, it does not.
Babes.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm really good at wisdom saving throws.
Never say that, Parade.
What do you mean? I got a 16 on both rolls.
Oh,
you
didn't.
wow.
That's
Oh,
Aaron.
wrong one.
Okay.
My bad.
I'm going
Hey,
to
never mind.
DM everyone who failed something.
Mm.
Oh.
Mhm.
So that's just me and Sequoia, right?
Mhm.
Just love- I love when I just jinx myself.
That's perfect.
No, Magic the Gathering.
All right. You can choose to do with this information what you want, but I will ask you to keep it real. You know.
As this kind of, as she stares into the dark, she clings to Bubbles, and she goes, "Hi, I feel really alone all of a sudden."
Yeah, you do this. You feel a strange attachment to this creature that you made by yourself. You know, even if the world is constantly changing, even if you're faced with these insurmountable odds, you still have this thing you can rely on more than
Just
any
her
other
and her
person in
shadow.
your party.
Hell, she made it.
Yeah.
Raladar is going to start just keep turning pages in his like little book of philosophy that I imagine he has.
mhm,
And he's just gonna be there, just reading it. Completely just like out of it. He's
mhm. Yeah, Aaron, you see this. What's your reaction?
You two alright? He's
Hey,
like, doesn't know about Strelladar, but he's looking at Sequoia. Sequoia
she kind of,
doesn't look
she kind of
panicked.
looks over, and she's like, just sitting down next to, like on her little scrunkle shoulder, right? And she's just like looking over at you, and she's like, to to be honest, I feel this immense attachment to my own creation, and I feel like if anything were to happen to it, I would be set back to square zero, and it would be the end of the world. So I kind of don't feel that different.
No, there are many things you can do in your life. Just because one of them gets broken doesn't mean you can't do something better.
Oh no, 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 no!
Also,
You don't understand. I could fix it, but I really don't want to lose it. I
is
think,
this like a
and she like,
is
she like leans over and she's like, I think it's a lucky charm. Don't tell Bubbles.
he nods and he says, "Is this like a motherly protection instinct?" As he like
She goes,
squints.
what do you mean? Pixies
Uh,
are, pixies can't be mothers? No.
I
What?
don't have a good relationship with my family. I don't know how it works.
Oh,
one.
kind of looks over and it's like, instincts are kind of, Pixie, it's like, families are interesting in the Feywild. And she kind of goes like, see, my mom and pops were a tree.
I that figures.
She nods. So she looks at this thing and she's like, and I guess this is my sprout, in a way. But I'm not a tree. So I don't know. I just know that I don't want to lose it. I worked too hard to make it.
Okay. And Stralada?
Yes.
You look more learned than usual.
I love reading. This book is really good.
Oh shit, I'm traveling with an app. Looks and he goes, "Oh my god, this is what dementia is."
um, y- sure. You're all in a somewhat unfamiliar location. What are you all doing right now? Like, what's your
Panicking at the fact that he has been listening to a dementia-ridden kook for the last however long.
That's
Sequoia
amazing.
will kind of like, you know, the golem will just give you like a pat on the back, which is like surprisingly forceful, but also like, you are not used to Sequoia having appendages this large with which she can manipulate the world. This is very, very unnatural. Not just because it is literally like an arcane sentience that she has conjured into the world, but simply because Sequoia is meant to be small. Why is she giving you a pat on the back? This changes things in your relationship dynamic as friends. She kind
It's
of
like
gives
at
you
the
this
beginning.
reassuring pat on the back with all
I
the
want to
following.
put the what's in session chat is actually.
And she's like, oh, and she looks over at Streladar and she's like, he reads really quick, huh?
Oh my god, this is amazing.
He's gonna
So
look and he's
Sequoia's trying to
gonna
calculate how many pages he's flipping and how many words he's reading per minute.
Roll an
That's what she does.
intelligence check.
She says nothing, but she just stares at Eleanor like flipping pages. That's a 10.
That is a 10. You don't know. You're sort of, your mind has been preoccupied by how damn good this thing you have created is. I mean, like, you have really outdone yourself.
I really have. He stares at it longingly.
All right. I'll say, we'll just say in about an hour. What do you guys do? Like, just in an hour's time. Do you guys set up a camp? Do you attempt to travel somewhere? Yeah, in an hour's time.
Effect.
We'll say after the initial sort of shock, your penchant for doing whatever you're doing has been reduced, so you aren't as needed to do that, but it's still an aspect of sort of what you're doing and all that. So
Right.
you can safely like do other things.
Okay. Jalthar will slightly lower his buck. He's still like while looking at everyone else is still just turning pages, but he's not looking at the book anymore. And he's going to say, "So, what are we going to do next?"
And an OOC perspective, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe, we do not want to be out here. Maybe we really do just want to be underground. You know, maybe there's just some really bad mojo up here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I mean,
please, I don't want to
my
be
torch
underground.
did nothing to enlighten the place, so
It's true. It's true. Maybe we just shouldn't light any torches up here.
I don't think that fixes the problem. Oh wait, you're out of character.
Yeah. But in characterly, I think Sequoia would say something to the tangent that's just like, I normally get very attached to things, but this is new. And she's like stroking her like mechanical creation like across the cheek, and she's just like, I don't know why I feel this way about you. She kind of like puts her hands on the sides of its head, and its head bubbles twice, like unwillingly, and she's like, "You're so precious to me." And she's kind of like, having a little golem moment with like her creation here.
Aaron looks and he goes, "I really hope this isn't a motherly relationship in the future."
Aaron doesn't understand what a motherly relationship is, but he knows it's this.
He knows this is fucked.
It's like you can see the dust around them like swirling, you know, and it's just like Sequoia is just, she's out of this, man. You're not getting anything from her.
Separated Sequoia from her creation.
She would violently protest if you tried.
Violently protest.
Violently being the keyword.
Okay. I like smushed her in a blanket or something.
All right. So what are you all doing?
Smushing her in a blanket. No.
I guess.
You just need a
I'm gonna
handkerchief.
test
You don't
my
even need a
hypothesis.
blanket.
Need a handkerchief.
I'm gonna test my hypothesis,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna try to light a torch.
Yeah, you light a torch. I mean, you're able to do that. Straladar was able to do that. It was more the fact that despite this torch being here, the darkness just wouldn't end. There is a circular radius of light being cast around you, but the main thing is that it's been reduced somehow. So it's about where normally it would be about 30 feet of bright light. Now it's about 15.
Well, we should really get our bearings. Like, actually, like I'm eating right now, so I can't do any character voices. But like in character speaking,
Coward.
so I would suggest that we like get our bearings.
He's actually Aaron's gonna nod and say, I got both stabbed and pierced multiple times earlier. I need a bit of a rest.
All right, we'll take a big long rest, I guess.
He's
Alright.
gonna-
I Actually,
Which is a short
there-
rest, in all seriousness.
Yeah,
It
just
is a
a
short
short
rest.
Okay, yeah,
But in Sequoia's terms.
you guys can take a short rest. Totally. You rest. You sort of set up a temporary campfire. Also, you're able to find this sort of uh, rectangular formation of trees to sort of set up under. Do whatever you want during the short rest, and I'll say during that time, you're able to find your bearings, as hard as it is in the dark. And you seem to have come out the other side of the hill, basically, that the goblin's cave was on. So you still are in extremely close proximity to Summerspire.
I see.
And you know generally what direction that is if you wish to head towards it. Other than that, you also know farther away, but still in a general area is what's, let me just pull up the map that I made because for some reason I'm forgetting this. But there's also Phaloris nearby somewhat, but that's a longer sort of trek.
Well, we do have to go back to them and tell them the goblins have been taken care of, and that something much worse lurks beyond the threshold of the darkness. So yeah, yeah. So here's the thing. If I look up, do I see stars or anything?
No, it is completely dark as you look up.
Huh. Interesting. Well, good thing that I have my handy dandy little mouse tool on me. Just in case that we don't like stray onto a false path here. During this scrunkly little short rest, she's just going to set this thing up and basically take it apart, put it back together, and basically I'm just gonna make sure that I have like the navigational tools required to actually like get around, so she just gets her compasses, sextants, etc., and she just like starts setting everything up. She just sets up her whole little kit before we head out.
All right,
Okay.
yeah, sure, totally. You set up your navigational tools, got them at the ready. You know which direction to head. Now the only question is when you go. You finish your short rest, regain anything that you did, and do you set out towards Summerspire?
Depends.
Yes.
If anyone else has anything to do they want to do.
Um,
She's kind of
I-
concerned
I-
about Straladar, but she's also kind of too concerned with her own tinkering to care about anything else.
If we were taking the long rest, I don't know. He just want no
Short
not
rest.
the long. No, I know short rest. Just kind of sitting there, trying to trying to actually not bleed out.
Mhm.
He also looks at fucking Sakura and asks, "So why are you so attached to that thing?"
She as she like starts like messing with her multi-tool. I made it myself. She looks over and she's like, and it's just sitting there motionless right now, except for the part where its eyes, it never blinks because it has no eyelids. She looks at it and then she looks back and she says, "So you it you don't know how reassuring it feels to just be able to see eye to eye with you." And she keeps messing with her multi-tool, and somehow like a full compass just pops out of it. Interesting. And she kind of goes, back in the village, I was always a weird one out, but at least I was sort of normal here. And she kind of like looks around. Everyone is so really large, and she kind of says it like in a not so reassured way as she goes, I have spent a lot of time wondering if something would step on me. And then she like moves over to her arcane intelligence, and she kind of like flutters to the top of it, sits on its shoulder. Now I know nothing will step on me, and that's very, very, very reassuring. And I haven't had that until I met you. But now you don't need to help me carry my things anymore, and I can take care of myself. We can take care of ourselves. Right, Bubbles? And it just kind of, it bubbles.
Yeah. If you do ever need help, I'm always here.
She says, and I really appreciate that. It's just, I, I've been looking forward to this day for a long, 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 long time, and it's nice to be a bit higher up. And as she says that, she just kind of tilts her head back and she looks up at the void, pitch black sky, and she's just like, you know, when you're up there, everything looks a lot smaller. I guess everything looks a bit more normal when I'm up here. She looks down at her mechanical creation.
You're the biggest fairy I've ever seen.
Oh, and she kind of like relaxes a little bit, and she's like, "You're you're the nicest human I've ever met, Aaron."
He smiles and he says, "You sure? Stralada seems far kinder than I am."
Oh, his main redeeming quality is just how smart and wise he is. She kind of nods.
Maybe it's
And she
like,
kind of speaks out. She says this very much out loud. Like Sarah, you kind of hear her praise your wiseness, your wisdom of the years.
yeah, it gives a
Reladar will
little.
have a prideful face at this. You know, he'll have this kind of like smirk as he goes back to probably like doing some druidic ritual or whatnot.
Gives
He
a little,
gets me, but we're buddies, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah, we are friends. I don't think you being a pixie makes anything different. Me, you're just as big as anyone, just unfortunately it so happens not everyone sees it that way.
Most people don't see me because they're too busy looking up. And then she looks at the golem. But and it kind of stands up and it shoots to attention, like fucking the Undertaker rising. And it just and it says, "No, I'll always be right where they can see me." And it makes like a screeching noise as it like looks around and its head like rolls around. It's just like she nods. It's just like very reassuring. Does that answer your question?
He nods.
Hi,
Um,
down bubbles, and it just slumps to the floor as she like gets down from it, and
I'm just imagining this is like Bubbles the Undertaker. I'm the
yes,
one.
and it just slumps to the floor as she gets off, and she continues working on her little like navigational kit.
He's gonna look and he's gonna give a little. Oh, Stralda, what were you doing before this?
Oh, are you, are you asking what? What? Sorry.
He asks, what are you doing after this? Or what have you done before this?
Hmm. Well, many things, I guess. Mostly just being in forests, you know, nothing too interesting. I did a few things in my youth, rather brash and probably not with the best of intention. I learned. I decided to form a rebellion against the infamous Sylvan Co. The ones that do a lot of deforestation around the elven regions. But the thing is, I did not do this out of selfless reasons, out of the want to protect me. No, I did this out of vengeance and anger for what they did in my youth. What they did to my loved ones. I learned a good lesson that day. That when blood is spilt, tears will follow. Reason I avoid killing, actually, is because you've got to live the effects of taking a life. What it does to people around them, no matter how bad they are, they had friends, family, loved ones. It's hard to live with yourself after you've led enough lives to their death, or taken enough lives.
People say that, and I always feel bad. Because when I kill somebody, I haven't done enough. I've done it before, and as much as I know it's wrong, there's a part of me which just... There's another part of that process, and a part of that process I don't know. I'm not doing it. I'm not finishing the job. It's not my thoughts, it's like the same way a bird knows to fly south at March, or how a rat knows that it should fear the cat.
Instincts.
Yeah, your instincts.
Well, people have many instincts. But it's not what instincts you have. It's not what is innately in you. It's what you do with it. It's what you do with those instincts. Do you follow blindly along with it? Do you make your own person out of yourself?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everything is a choice. You just got to look at it the right way.
Is it? Gonna sit there and just gonna take it all in.
One thing, I thought I was going to have like a moment of silence, then going to pipe up and say, one thing you shouldn't do is fall in the easy pitfall of regret. It's a thing that I find myself falling in all too often. Regret what you previously did. As at every second you are a new person, with new ideas, new thoughts, and new choices. You may have killed before, give in to those instincts, but it does not mean you'll do it again, or blame yourself for those choices. Every moment you're a new person. What you will with that new person.
Say a lot of things. I take a lot of them in.
These are things I spent a lot of my life pondering. I hope that you will at least consider these lessons. Maybe I'm wrong, as a wise man should know himself a fool, but at least maybe you can see me as a tale to learn from. My mistakes can be great lessons. All mistakes can be great lessons. I just hope it helps. As he has this thoughtful smile, as he'll go back to reading his book of philosophy.
There's a smile too. His face is youthful, but his eyes speak of something different. But he just rests. He likes the people he travels with. He's also I've got to say Baku. For me in real life, it is quite late.
I get it. We're gonna do one more thing. It's gonna be super quick, and then we'll end the session. Don't worry.
I'm just gonna like.
What?
He's gonna lie back on his log.
All right. Well, do you guys finish the short rest then?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think so.
And you start to head towards Summerspire?
Yep.
Yes, everyone?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You head towards where you can probably guess Summerspire will be. Although admittedly it is quite hard with the lack of vision pretty much anywhere. You walk for I'd say about 35 minutes before you get to a bend that you sort of recognize, one that you had gone down when you went to the Goblin Cave. Yes, I am using assets here. You see this, though. As you approach this bend, you see what looks to be a large myconid walking across and sort of going this way.
Mhm.
Wait, did I? Yeah, I put you on the road. You guys can put your tokens down. But as it walks, you notice these two. You guys are at the top right now. As it walks, you notice these two sort of accompanying creatures. They look like myconids, but on closer inspection, you notice beyond the initial layer of mushroom, there is flesh and blood. You see these look to be people, humans, elves, dwarves that have been overtaken by this sort of fungal infection. And you see, as you like keep walking, you see they look over to you and are uh, not startled, but almost freeze. What do you all do?
Straladar is going to walk forward and say, he'll first be shocked by this, but he'll then walk up and say, be not afraid. I believe we will come in peace. Hope we can, uh, maybe we can talk and not immediately attack. I'm sorry, this has been a day of people just running up and attacking us. I'm just hoping that you will have some reason. I'm just...
Yeah, you see the myconid here steps forward, and telepathically it begins to speak with you, and it says, "Brother of the woods, join us. We have started rending their cities apart, destroying everything that once held us back. Will you not accompany us?" As you see
I'm
it,
sorry.
sort of holds its arm open, inviting you to come along with it.
Straladar steps forward. He'll get closer, right? And he's
Mhm.
gonna say, "You do not see what you are doing. You are tearing them apart, murdering them. Do you not see what you are doing? What you became? You have just became exactly what they fear. You have lowered yourself to not just their level, but below. You have became you wanted. You are now a scapegoat, so they can say anytime that they want to genocide us. Look at the time that this happened. What you've done is more harmful than anything you could have possibly done. You fool!"
Um, you see the head mic, and it stops, puts its arm down, and says, "We will not wait until they slaughter all of us, like they did with your kind. Join us or die."
This is unfortunately not a thing I can join. I am not on their level like you are. And he is now going to cast Entangle as he says, "Change
Oh!
is always a good thing. As as if you stay in one place, it's easy to be overgrown." And yeah, they're gonna need to make a DC 14 saving throw against my Entangle.
All right, I will roll that, and
This
after
is
I'm
the first time Spell doesn't initiate in combat.
yeah, straight up. Okay, let me roll this guy's first. So strength saving throw. Let's
Um.
roll it. Big guy gets a 21.
Oh no.
Let me roll the other ones. Surely they won't be that bad. Oh, fuck, I didn't put their stats down.
I'm getting flashbacks to the other times Chaladar walked up to like creatures and talked to them and nearly died.
It's fine, but this time I'm actually trying to stop them
Uh,
at first. Okay.
the other one gets an 18, and one of them gets a 12.
Okay. So one of them is
Okay,
restrained,
yes.
and the others are just in difficult terrain.
Okay.
As I think I would start it like probably what is the thing? I would start it okay, so that's like
between you and them,
That-
probably.
Yeah.
You center it like there-ish, then it's like a juicy square.
All right. Let
Oh, yeah.
me draw that out. I believe
Something
that's
like this, right?
Yeah, that would work. That would get them like
like that.
entangled as they possibly can get them.
It's something like this, right? Yeah, something like
That.
Oh.
All right, we'll
that.
call
Isn't
it
it 20
there.
feet, though?
It's fine. It's you know what? It's not that
Okay.
big a deal. Anyways, you see the Myconid sort of steps over these sort of vines and says, "I see you have made your choice very well," and that's where we'll end the session.
Nice.
Lovely. I
Reroll
love this
initiative,
session.
but